Okay. Let's get back into let's get to work. What's going on, family? Peace and shalom. This is your brother Divine Prospect of Kingdom Harbinger Ministries. We are back. I know you're like, yo, Divine, keep talking about you're gonna go live sooner. That's in the plans. My whole schedule has changed, y'all. So I'm working on that. I had a call from my grandmother earlier and my mother earlier, and those calls lasted over an hour each. So that kind of pushed me back. Otherwise, I would be starting at 10:53 this time. But for future live streams, I'm trying to be live by 10:30. I'm trying to move it back 30 minutes and incrementally move it back as much as I can until I get to about 9:30, which I think is pretty reasonable to start going live. That way, most people get to engage and interact live and instead of the replay, right? So those of you who are awake and who are up, I appreciate it. I didn't even promote this live yet. So give me a second. Let me go ahead and start promoting this live real quick. And go from there. I got a brand new computer I'm working on. I am hardwired into my modem. You're going to say, why are you telling us that? Because my last live stream that I had, the audio and quality was out of sync, and the video and audio quality was out of sync. The video was skippy and choppy. So I'm hoping that's not the case on this session, because that was a great session I had with that elder in regards to the Passover. And I want to make sure that this is consistent as well. So just give me 1 second. Let me just set up real quick. Yeah, I think it's better like this. Normally have that light behind me on. I don't have it on this time, but we'll adjust. We'll adjust. So yeah, just give me a second. Let me go ahead and make sure you guys who are coming in, please share this video as well. Save me some time. I'm trying to share it so we can get more people in. Let's see. All right. So giving y'all some more time to come on in. I'm posting this in a couple of places, so just give me a minute. Let's drop it off in these locations. All right. And as I'm doing this, please share the video yourselves as well. It's a lot that has transpired in the past 2 weeks. A whole lot. And you probably haven't seen me speak much about what's been going on in public. And the reason for that is it would have to be something that is really connected to our vision here. Otherwise, subscribe to the Patreon. We're going to start doing our Let's Talk About It sessions where I'll be bringing up all of this current event stuff and my thoughts and ideas on things that are going on in the community and so forth. I just don't want to crowd that here, right? Here we have a specific vision, purpose. We want to make sure we stay on course with that. So that's why you haven't heard me speak about anything. Now, there are some things that I will address, like, for example, people are reaching out to me about this Vocab Malone and Michael Heiser video. That video came out in 2020. That video is 2 years old, right? I saw that video way back in 2020. So it's not new to me, right? But because he re-released it, the full video, Zion Lex jumped on it, right? And people are saying, oh, Divine, he mentioned you. I'm like, yeah, I saw he mentioned me, so I'll do a response video because, my thing is I'm not reactive. I take my time. I assess something and evaluate it before I say anything. So that's what I'm doing. I'm in that phase right now, but I do have plans of responding to certain points in that video, especially the one that was mentioned about me. What's interesting is that Vocab has actually reached out to me in a private message way after that transpired in 2020 to establish a rapport with me, right? Which was interesting. My thing is, I'm amicable for diplomacy's sake, right? That doesn't mean I agree with people because I'm amicable with them. It just means that I'm going to continue to exude a level of excellence and a level of tact, so that way I don't tarnish the name of Yah, right? That doesn't mean I had to do any business with you. That doesn't mean I have to worship with you. That doesn't mean any of that. It just means I'm amicable for professional sakes, and I have to learn to do that in a secular realm. And in this realm, I learned to do the same thing. However, if the person who I'm amicable with says something about me and it warrants me to respond, if it's not a personal attack, if it's something in regards to what I teach or my scholarship or something along those lines, then I'll do an appropriate response, right? Without the emotions and stuff like that. If it's something personal, I'm definitely not going to put it out there like that publicly, because then certain things might get misconstrued and issues going to happen, and then people got to physically see each other and stuff like that. And we don't want that type of heat, especially when we already have enough scrutiny in our community, right? So we have an obligation to be very disciplined in how we move, what we say, and what we do, right? So I say that to segue into our session on tonight. I sent some invites out. So if people know about it and they come through, great. If they don't, then whoever's here live with me, we're going to have a good time for the next hour and a half. No more than 2 hours. I really want to end this about 2:30. And those who are watching on a replay, hopefully you enjoy whatever transpires out of this session. Okay. I do have something I want to share with y'all only because it was made public. So I'm going to address it publicly, give some commentary on it. And the individual who left the comment, if they want an opportunity to voice their grievance, they have more than enough opportunity to do so. All right. Tay G 9 Deuce. No, I made an attempt that same day and I didn't get a response back. And I cannot contact the individual because they blocked me. So if you speak with the person and you have a relationship with them, reach out to them, let them know that my line is always open. I do not have them blocked in anything, and they can unblock me and reach out to me, or they can call my phone or text my phone. I'm more than happy to speak, right? I don't hold grudges or anything like that. But I can't do business with somebody if they've said things about me publicly. That's personal. Like, I can't build with you like publicly until we resolve that. You know what I'm saying? And then after we resolve that, then we can work publicly again. But that's just where I stand, right? It's out of respect. So I'm just being direct, answering that question without name dropping. But yes, that's the status of where we're at right now. Okay. Again, there's no love loss on my end. Got a million things going on in life. I don't have the space or the bandwidth to hold grudges. Right. I got enough stuff that I'm dealing with. Right. So with that being said, let me give a couple of shout outs as we transition into the show. Shout out to HaKodesh Management. I want to say big ups to my brother DB, man. That is a good brother. Thank you so much, my brother, for all your help that you've done for KHM and for me personally. I truly appreciate you. Shout out to Rumi Dia. You love Yah. Shout out to Scott Garrett Headley as well. Shalom to you as well, King, for the help that you've done also. You said that I received your email. I don't know. I'll take a look. I don't think I did. If I did, I would have responded to it. So I probably didn't see it. But again, I have 2 other admins that watch the email as well, and they file the email and stuff. I'll file the stuff in the email. So I don't know, but I'll look for it, or just text me, right? You got my number, text me. We'll talk through it. Okay. Shout out to Yapag Halaya, Kimberly M. Shalom. Kaya Houston, Shalom. Gavin Miller, Shalom. Scott Garrett Headley, Shalom. Gurney Mosley, Shalom. Sedaria Halliburton, Shalom. Yehuda Yisrael, Shalom. King Zeph, Shalom. Sister V Love, Shalom. Stacks 2296 in the building, Shalom. Jermaine and Warfare, Rebirth of a Nation, Shalom. Shiite TL, Shalom. Yeti Hebrew Dre in the building, Shalom. What's going on? G Brown, I see you, Shalom. Nicholas Gonzalez, Shalom. King Sister Santo, I see you, Shalom. D Will, Shalom. RNT, Shalom. Learn Yah and Yeshua, Shalom. Will been here, Shalom. Hebrew Polymath, Shalom. Nicole Branch, Shalom. Yes. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm sorry, Nicole Birch. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you enjoyed the content. I appreciate that. Shout out to Shine Carpenter. I see you, King. Shalom. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. All right. So if anybody else wants a shout out, just make a comment. I'll shout you out. Want to make sure the world knows who's supporting what's going down here, and that this channel cannot be made possible without viewers like you. They said it on PBS, right? Yeah. Jacking them for that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the fact, because it's facts. It's facts, right? It's facts. If you want any contact information about the ministry, everything will be in the description box, or look at the ticker that's going across the screen and you'll see the details going across there. Now, let me check the audio quality. Hit 1 if the video and audio is in sync and there's no stuttering, no glitches, everything is smooth. Hit 1 if the audio and video is running smoothly, it's in sync, and the quality is up to your standards. All right. I bought a brand new computer. I'm hardwired into my modem. I did all of this because I want to make sure that when we have our shows going forward, there's no interruptions, no distractions, etc. Because that build I had with that elder on the Passover was excellent. I was just very dissatisfied with the video quality because there was stuttering, there was freezing up, etc. And that was an excellent live. That was a classic live, actually. And I can't guarantee you classics every time, but that was a classic live. All right. Shout out to Tyrell John. Shalom, King. What's going on? Adita Star loves Yah. Shalom. Adan Yah. Haor. Shalom. Let's see. Who else did I miss? Did I get everybody? I think I did. Jehu M. Shalom. Tony Yahya Sharala. Shalom. So let me do this. Let me see. Let me make sure I got some mods still in the building. I think I have my mods in the building. That's good. I want to make sure my mods is in the building in case anybody gets out of line. Mods is there to take care of that. I'm going to gift somebody as a temporary mod as well right now. All right, just made another mod. Yeah, we got our mods in the building. All right, so mods, make sure y'all trigger happy on tonight. All right. And if you see anybody get out of line, you got my permission to shoot. They shooting. Oh, major. Look, let me stop. But if they get out of line, pull that trigger finger, right? And put them in timeout. And if they get out of line 3 times, then block them altogether. Okay. Bring it to my attention. I'll speak about it and we go in. All right. Shout out to my brother Stacks. He said, this is a classic channel, period. All praise to the Most High. All right. All praise to the Most High, man. Oh, Shine. That's Chris. Oh, what's going on, Chris? Oh, I don't know what happened to your channel, bro. I got you, King. Give me 1 second, man. I didn't know that was you, Chris. I got you, King. Chris, my boy, man. Let me hook you up, Chris. All right. Oh, shoot. My bad, Chris. I put the wrong thing. I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Okay, so you there, Chris. You good. Shout out to John and Dorsey in the building. John, you get a wrench tonight. John put in his work. I appreciate that, brother. All right. That's enough admins on tonight. I'll bestow the honor on some of y'all again in the future. Right. But the people who have the wrench, they know what time it is. They've been here for years. They know how we get down. They are very tactful and reasonable, right? I'm not going to pick somebody who's automatically not going to give somebody a chance or an opportunity. So the mods that I just bestowed the favor on, continue to do your thing. I appreciate y'all just like everybody else. And we're going to talk tonight. So make sure you guys share this video. I know it's late. It's 1 a.m. I'm good, right? I had a long week. I remember I worked 2 jobs. I worked from 8 to 8 every day, man. I worked 12 hours. And I worked two jobs within those 12 hours, man. It's a lot. And then I do ministry on top of that, right? Which is even more. Then I got a family on top of that. Oh, I thank y'all for the Shabbat, though. All right. But I'm cooking some things up in the back. Just be patient with me. Thank you to all my patrons, man, all our KHM members, man. Give yourselves a round of applause. Thank you for not giving up on me or KHM, because when you see what your investments have led to or will continue to lead to, you already see some of the tangible stuff that we offer. What they would lead to, man, y'all help make it possible for us to have our first Passover this past weekend, man. Right now, we're still in the period of unleavened bread until Sunday evening. So it was yeast-free week for us, me and my family, KHM members, etc. And man, we just had a great time. There's a lot of stuff that we plan on doing. I'm going to do a Passover recap once we put the highlight video on YouTube. Is being worked on now by the Wake Up Collective. Shout out to the Wake Up Collective for coming through and doing professional filming and had professionalism all the whole time they were there. Some good brothers, man. I recommend them to anybody in the community. But y'all about to see a 2-minute highlight reel of the event. And if you're on Patreon, you'll be able to see the entire event. So if you're not signed up for Patreon, go to www.patreon.com/DivineProspect so you can watch the entire Passover event. We had a wonderful time, but nothing that you do the first time around is going to be void of hiccups. So we did have some hiccups, right? And I'm going to keep it a buck about that. We did have some hiccups. But if you want to learn about what all that is, I'll say it on a vlog on my Patreon channel. Those of you who already subscribed to the Patreon, you saw the first vlog that I did on Patreon. I gave you some additional insight into me personally, what's going on in my life and stuff like that. So y'all know some of the particulars and the details. I try to shun that away from this channel because it's not about my personal life, but my Patreon, I couldn't show stuff there because the people who support that channel are also interested or vested in me as a person as well. And I appreciate y'all for that, right? But we had a great time at Passover. I truly enjoyed the kids' corner that we had. We had these coloring books, these activities. I bought this 10 Plagues game for the kids. I bought this Passover dart game for the kids. Shout out to Bible Pathway Adventure. I purchased several books from them, and I had it there for the kids because image is everything. Don't let nobody tell you that. Image is everything. The kids must see their reflection in everything they interact with. I have a picture that I'm going to post very soon so you can see what my daughters, right? One is 3 going on 4, one is 5. All the dolls that they have. And 96% of the dolls that they have all look like them. Natural hair, dark complexion, right? It means a lot for them to see that. It shapes their reality. It teaches them what beauty is, right? So it's very important for you to give your children an image that reflects them so that their self-esteem can be where it needs to be. They can appreciate their natural beauty and how Yah has made them, right? That's important. All right. So with that being said, we are looking for more KHM members. We have some project manager slots open. We have some marketing slots open. Several things that we have going on. So if anybody here wants to join what we have going on at KHM, the link is in the description below. Click on that link to sign up for KHM. Let's bring you onto the team. Let's make great things happen for the community on behalf of Yah. That's what we're here to do. That's our mission. That's our purpose. We're here to serve him and be his vessel to the community, right? So that's that. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. Let me see if I missed anybody. Shout out to K. Israel in the building. Shalom. Dreama Dark. Shalom. Thank you so much, my brother, for coming out and spending time with us. Apparently, everybody was not happy about the event. I'm gonna say everybody, but a small minority of people maybe was not, they didn't meet their high expectations. And I'm gonna show you one person who it didn't. I gave the person ample opportunity to build with me. They put the matter out publicly, so I'm going to address it publicly, but they always have an opportunity to voice their grievances on the channel live or in private. But when you put something out in public, I'm going to respond to it publicly, right? Unless we agreed to take it private, which I've offered and didn't get a response. But again, we're transparent here. I have no problem addressing any grievances or dissatisfaction somebody may have with me, with KHM, or whatever the case may be. Been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this since I've been in this community for almost 8 years. I've been in this community for over 8 years now. You know what I'm saying? And we've not shied away from anything, right? Even criticism. I'm okay with that, right? Because when you're a student, you never lose. It's always an opportunity to learn, whether you're right or whether you're wrong. But you always got to be fair and give a person an opportunity to speak their piece, right? And that's what I offer. So, you know, shout out to Bruce Williams. I see you. Shalom. Eric Tinsley. I see you. Shalom. Let me see. Thank you so much, Eric Tinsley, for the donation, King. I appreciate that. Israel for Israel. Shout out to Talmud Halika. Shalom, King. Salute. What's going on, my brother? Let me see. Did I get everybody? DB is Yah's miracle child. Shalom. I see you. Shalom. Okay, I think that's everybody for now. If I see anybody pop up, I'll definitely give y'all a shout out. Shout out to Miss B. What's going on, sis? What's going on? Oh man. Now, I agree, Jermaine, but apparently this person had a solution. I'm gonna read it. Y'all gonna see it. Just give me a second. All right. Shout out to Mark Benjamin. I see you, King. Shalom. All right. All right. So let's get started. And again, there's always going to be a portion here for Q&A. So if y'all have questions, queue them up. Wait till I announce the Q&A segment, and then you can definitely ask your questions because, you know, I like to teach dynamically on the fly, you know, and then sometimes it'll inspire me to go back and do a lecture or do some content on it, etc. Right? Shout out to Ruach and Hamashiach. Shalom. All right. Okay. So, J Rod, shalom, what's going on? Now, before we begin, if there's anybody in the chat that has some kind of issue, some kind of grievance, some kind of critique of me, KHM, what we teach, what we stand on, or whatever, you have an opportunity now to speak your mind. Let me know in the chat if you have an issue, right? A grievance, if something I said or we did disturbed you, or you have an issue with our doctrine or whatever the case may be. Hey, I wanted a few quote unquote mores. That's what people call me, right? That'll allow you an opportunity to critique me live, right? Correct me live, edify me live, whatever the case may be. I'm open to that, right? And people who have seen this show for some time now knows I'm very respectful towards the guests that I have on my channel. That don't mean I'm going to hold my tongue. I'm going to be very passionate, speak my mind, but I'm not going to disrespect nobody. Right. So you're not going to get disrespected. You're not going to be muted. You're not going to be overtalked. You're going to be allowed an opportunity to voice your mind. Right. So I always do this because I like to have that opportunity for the people who support this channel or people who don't even support this channel. Right. To question me, to have a conversation with me, to talk with me. Right. You know, let's get it out in the open. Let's clear it as brother and sister and let's keep it moving. That's all. Okay. So, Tony, this is not for the Q&A portion. This is just for, I'm just giving that space in the event that somebody has a grievance or whatever, they have an opportunity to speak it. So if we don't have any in there, it's no problem. I'll continue on with the show. And then we'll get to the point. What you mean, Tony? Do people actually chat in the groups we're in? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Tony. Please elaborate on that, my brother. And this is what I'm drinking. People may say, oh, what you drinking? I always show the things I'm consuming. If I'm consuming it in front of y'all, because y'all may be interested. This is it from Aloe. This is called Crisp Aloe Vera Fuji Apple and Pear. It's an aloe vera drink, and it's non-GMO verified. So this has purified water, aloe vera juice, aloe vera pulp, apple juice, cane sugar, pear juice, citric acid, natural flavors, ascorbic acid, calcium, lactate. All right. All right. All right. Now, today, because I got a little thrown off earlier, I don't really have a script of announcements and stuff to make. I do want to thank everybody who have contributed so that way our Passover event can be possible. So shout out again to our Patreon members, to our KHM members, and to our donors, right, who actually came to the event that helped to make things possible. It was a very large tab for everything we paid for, the venue, the catering, and the videography, right? It cost thousands of dollars to make all of that possible, right? And I thank Yah that we have so much support. We was able to cover everything, right? So all praise to the Most High. Shout out to Bishop Marcial in the building. Shalom. Nisi's Pieces in the building. Shabbat Shalom, sis. What's going on? Kenny, I see you. Shalom. All right. So when y'all see this footage, man, we're gonna be, wow. I wish y'all were there. I just wish y'all was there, man. I wish y'all was there. You know, we're working on doing the tabernacles later on this year. So y'all can just keep that in mind. If you don't know, when tabernacles is this year, according to the calendar that we subscribe to, then you need to click on that link down in the description below and get you a copy of the calendar, or sign up for the Patreon and you'll be able to get access to the calendar immediately, right? All the information is there, right? Now, also, we have an event coming up this year as well. It's going to be called Righteous Bread, or Zedek Lechem. And this is going to be a summit that we want to do every year when we bring together all Hebrew or Israelite businesses, right? People who have entrepreneurs, people who offer services, products, have a nonprofit, that have a trade, you know, anything that is economically inspiring, right? We want y'all to come out there. Everybody is allowed to vend. We're going to have keynote speakers and everything. This is something that I haven't seen done before in the community, and it's something that we're in the alpha stages of planning right now. In a couple of months, we'll have a flyer available. We want to do this in the fall, and you guys can come out and enjoy. I mean, you got a business or a nonprofit or sell a product, good, service. You know, you have a trade where you're making a lot of money, you're financially comfortable, economically savvy, you know, some investments or some things like cryptocurrency, NFTs that we should invest in the future, or anything like that. You have an opportunity to share that with us at this summit. Okay. So stay tuned to that. That's the first of its kind. And I know y'all going to definitely enjoy that. All right. So More Truth says, Shalom. First of all, also I wanted to ask you, how do you feel about Vocab Malone and him constantly going after Israelites? Do you believe he is a genuine God? So I believe that Vocab has some genuineness to him, because I've spoken to him off camera, right? Personally off camera, I've spoken to him, right? Do I think that he's doing things maliciously or doing something that's wicked, that he's like intending to do that? No. I believe that he believes this is his calling to wake up people who have left the church to join the Israelite movement, which he identifies as a cult, and that he wants to call them to Christ. I think that he's genuine in regards to that. Like, that's what he genuinely wants to do. He's passionate about it. However, he is following the trend of social media in order to capture that. So a lot of shock value in his titles and his thumbnails, etc., in order to drive home the message that Christians should be wary of Israelites. Now, with that being said, am I intimidated by that? Am I bothered by that? Am I offended by that? No, not at all. Because what that is doing is it is causing y'all to step your game up. That is what he is there to do. That if you are caught lacking, you will be looking crazy because you will not have the appropriate manner in which to explicate your particular faith or what you stand on or what you identify with. So we have people that are amongst the community, and that is their job. So it's your job to step it up. And I've been telling the community since 2014. I was ridiculed for years by the community. Oh, we don't need no scholarship, and that's not necessary, and all of that. Then all of a sudden, you got people like Vocab, Christian apologists, right? Even people in the conscious community fact checking y'all. Now it's, oh, Divine, give me some information on this. Oh, Divine, give me some information on that. Almost every prominent person you know in this community has at some point come to me for information. And some of them ridiculed me in the beginning because I tell people you need a methodology, you need sources, and you need tools. And you need to work out your faith with these items. Equip yourself with it. So you can be educated, empowered, right? Equipped, right? Edified, right? All of the E's, because this was coming. I already saw it. 8 years ago when I came in the community, it wasn't this severe. Now in 2022, it's severe because we have become a threat to certain movements. But you got to be trained. You got to be disciplined. You got to be prepared to fight back. You can't do so reactively or out of emotion, right? You can be passionate when you do it, right? However, you have to be calm and disciplined. You don't move because somebody else moved. You move when you're ready to move. This is chess, not checkers, right? Checkers is more of an impulsive game unless you have somebody that's a great strategist. Chess takes time and patience, right? Some people don't have the time and patience to walk through something. So I'm not itching to jump on anything because it's there. I take my time. I move the appropriate pieces so I can be effective at what I do. I'm not just trying to be heard. I want to be effective and I want to be efficient in how I accomplish what God's giving me to do. Some things is merely a distraction. Some things require a response, right? And that's the most important thing. So I've been trying to tell the community for a long time, listen, y'all got to step it up. Even the Deuteronomy 28:68 thing. Back in 2017, I made a video on that. A lot of people gave me heat on that. But then people look back and say, yo, Divine was right. And it's like, yo, it's not about me being right. I'm just telling y'all what it is. I didn't make it up. But I have to be honest with the community, even at the expense of being disliked, even at the expense of people keeping me out of their circles. It is what it is. Shout out to Gaza Elion. Shalom to you. Shout out to Ben Yehuda. I see you. Shalom. All right. So, I mean, it is what it is. Let them come as they may. Right? I welcome them into this arena. Welcome them into it. This is a intellectual, mental, and spiritual gladiator sport. So the opponents, and I don't know if you know anything about the Colosseums in ancient Rome, but typically they will put a gladiator in the ring with a commoner who they're punishing. The gladiator is faster, they're stronger, right? They're more well-equipped. And all that commoner has is their intellect and wits. So how do you fight a beast when the beast is naturally equipped to destroy you? When you have no natural defenses of your own except for your mind and your spirit. How do you win that battle? So a lot of times the text gives you techniques to apply and we don't do it because we want a secular output for a spiritual battle. And that's the problem, right? That's important. You understand what I'm saying? Listen, it is what it is. That's what I'm saying, my brother. Listen, I'm not getting emotional over this. You understand? I gave you an appropriate response, right? What I'm saying is I obviously don't subscribe to the same things he subscribes to, right? But when I deal with him, right? Now remember, you got to understand my history with him. It hasn't always been this type of history. We've been very hostile towards each other from 2016 to about 2019 until we had our sit down at the airport, right? And then I got to actually see him in person and test out his spirit and all of that. You know what I'm saying? It was a little different. It was very hostile for several years until I backed off on it and I said, whoa, hold on. Let me slow down for a second. Let me just slow down for a second, right? And fall back. All right. So let me do this, family. All right. I'm gonna slow down for a second. I was trying to get somewhere, right? But I'm gonna give King Tony an opportunity to join this chat. All right. Come on to this discussion. Click the link and let's have a discussion real quick. All right. Because what you're saying is absolutely incorrect. I'm going to show you historically. I'm going to show you scripturally. And I'm going to show you modern times. I'm going to show it to you because what you're saying is incorrect. You're absolutely incorrect with that statement. So the link is right there. Click on the link because you trolled last live stream, right? There's the link. Click the link and let's have a discussion. We're going to wait on King Tony. The smoke is ready anytime you want it. I'm going to show you we're not cut the same. The link is right there. We're going to give him a moment, but I always give you the Surgeon General's warning, okay? And that is this smoke that you're about to receive is not going to be good for your spiritual endeavor because you're spiritually endeavoring to do something in opposition of that which is productive. So the smoke that you're about to get is going to affect you in some way, shape, or form, but the link is there for us to talk. So click the link. It's not a debate. Why do you think this is a debate? Why would I debate you? If I debated you, I would win. I'm just talking about you, King Tony. If I debated you, I would win. So why am I debating you? If I debated you, it would be overkill. But so why would I debate you? I'm not here to debate you. We're here to talk. And that's the thing. People always come in this chat and have all this critique to say. It's not arrogant, my brother. It's confidence. I know that you will not win a debate against me. How is that arrogance? That's me being confident. The arrogance is you coming in here saying all this stuff, but refuse to be cross-examined. You see, you want to divvy out the critique, but you don't want to stand face-to-face and get cross-examined yourself. And that's what I realize happens to a lot of these so-called people in the virtual space. Whenever you call attention to the attention that they're trying to give and you give them that opportunity to speak, they don't want to do it because they want to feel comfortable and safe without being noticed on screen to continue with the critique that they've been given. That's how y'all operate, Tony. And I have nothing personal against you. And I'm not filled with pride, my brother. I'm telling you facts. If you feel that if we debated that you would win, so then debate me then. You're not going to do that. I know you're not going to do that, right? You're not going to debate me because I'm talking about the subject matter you just put up. I'm confident that if we debated that subject matter, you would lose. I'm not going to say I'm going to win every kind of debate with you because I don't know you. I don't know what you know. I don't know any of that. But I know the subject matter. I'm very precise. I'm very focused and meticulous about what I'm talking about. The comment you just put up there, let me show it to everybody. I want to show them, right? Let me show them real quick. Hold on. Let's put it up there so people can see what I'm talking about. There's always a point of reference, my brother, right? This is your comment right here. The reason Christians can come against you, Hebrew Christians, I'm not a Hebrew Christian, my brother, is because you are both worshiping the same idol, Jesus, Black Jesus. So that subject matter is what I want to have a dialogue with you about. And if we debated it, you would lose. That's all I'm saying, my brother. And for the record, mods, don't time him out. Don't block him, right? I want to give him another opportunity and put another link in here. And if he doesn't agree to it, then we'll put him in timeout for a second, right? And then we'll move on with the show. But do not block him, family. Do not block him, all right? All right, there it is. The link is right there. I'm challenging the statement that I just put on the screen. That is what I want to have a dialogue with you about because you are absolutely incorrect about that. Now, when you're ready, let me know. For the record, family, this is something I wanted to talk about tonight as well. I'm gonna get there. Trust me. Look at this book. You see this book right here? You see this? So, a person like King Tony is not familiar with all this content in here. He's not. Because if you don't know what a catechism is, you don't know what a creed is, you don't know what a council is, you don't know what tenets of faith is and affirmations of such, all the things that have been established so that Orthodox Christianity has the legs it stands on today, right? And you telling me I have the same thing in common with them, but yet this is their foundation and I don't agree with this, then you don't know what you're talking about. That's what I'm saying. You don't know what you're talking about. So if you feel otherwise, Click the link. Otherwise, my brother, anything you're saying here going forward, nobody's going to respect. They're not going to respect it. So let's deal. Otherwise, we won't deal. Anytime truth, more truth, my brother, no problem, King. I'm here. This is what I'm here to do. I'm here to serve y'all. So yeah, I want. Matter of fact, King Tony, let's see how much of this you know, and then you tell me which of the creeds and the tenets of faith established at these councils that I affirm. Let me see if you know. This is why Christians disagree with me. See, you don't know the fundamental contrast that's juxtaposed between both parties. You're not familiar with that. If you was, you wouldn't make that comment, right? But obviously, you don't want to have discussion. So we're going to move on. We're going to move on. It's all good. We're going to move on. All right? All right. Let's move on because he really doesn't want this work. All right. It's going to be your employer for today. Give you a temporary contract for the next 2 hours to give you that work. But apparently, you don't want the work. Trust me, it has good pay. And that good pay is enlightenment, edification, empowerment on both sides. I'm going to admit that I'll learn something from you, right? But you're not going to talk all of that smack that you have been talking past live streams. Now you got my attention. Now I'm giving you an opportunity to voice your grievances. And you automatically say, I don't want to debate you. That's what they say. But who said I was debating you? I just wanted to talk to you. I'm not having a debate. I had a discussion with that brother last live stream. That wasn't a debate. That was a conversation. But I know you can't stand on that statement. That's why you don't want to come on this channel. It's okay. Let's keep it moving. All right. So with that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show y'all a little bit of from this book. It's called Know the Creeds and Councils. So I'm also doing this, family, for my Patreon subscribers. Listen, I'll tell you this. New, if you're about to sign up or if you already signed up, right? I'm going to do a giveaway, right? A lot of the books that I post on Patreon cost hundreds and some of them thousands of dollars, right? I'm going to start buying books and giving them away to those who are signed up for Patreon because they've been investing for so long. You're getting immediate returns on your investment, right? But I'm going to start sending you some books that you cannot get anywhere else. This book you can get. You can get this from Amazon. But I got some books that you cannot find no more. And I'm going to start sending it to my Patreon. So what you do is we're going to have an ongoing giveaway this month. And if you bring in 2 or more other patrons, if you can find somebody and say, look, you an Israelite, you in this community, you're trying to grow and level up, man, you got to sign up for this Patreon. They got tools on there, Bible audio on there, Bible software on there, articles and books and access to websites and, exclusive content from DivineProspect and KHM. If you can get 2 or more people sign up for the Patreon, and when they sign up, they message me and say, so-and-so brought me here, right? Whoever gets the most, I would say, referrals to our Patreon, I'm going to send you a book that you won't find anywhere else. It's out of print. They don't even make it no more. I'm going to send it to you. You'll see the details on Patreon. I'm going to start giving out out-of-print books or books that have limited runs and all that. You can't get it nowhere. I'm going to send it out to y'all. Hold on to that. Hold on to it. Trust me, I got a copy of it, but I'm going to give you, because I normally get like 2 copies of things that I know that's out of print. I'm going to give you some of my out of print books. And then what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start giving y'all papers and articles from conferences and summits that I've been part of that is not out for regular public consumption. I'm going to start giving it to y'all as well. I don't just identify as an Israelite just because it's a wave, right? There's tons of evidence, data, and so forth that establishes my position. And I lean on that. Feel me? So that's where we at. So we're going to say, I don't know what happened to Tony. I don't know. Tony left. I don't know. That's what they do, right? And matter of fact, let me get into this real quick. I want to read something from this book from you real quick. And why is this book important? And I tell you all the time, dogma, death to dogma. You see the shirt I got on? See that? If you want a shirt, click the link in the description below. Get you a death to dogma shirt if you don't already have it, right? Dogma. Let's find the definition of dogma. This right here is how a lot of dogma is established, right? But let's get the definition of dogma real quick. All right. Let's get the definition of dogma. Right. Let me show this to y'all. Then we get this from the Oxford Languages Dictionary. Right. Let's see what dogma is. And this is how I know people like King Tony, when he makes statements like that, doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't subscribe to Orthodox Christianity's dogma, bruh. Do you understand? We're not cut the same. You feel me? We're not cut the same. Don't insult my intelligence by making comments like that if you're not going to come on here and have a conversation. All right? I'm not proving nothing to you till you come on this screen like a man and you talk to me, bruh. Other than that, much love and respect to you, but you ain't going to get all my respect, bruh. Click that link. You want me to say something according to what you want me to prove? They don't work that way, bruh. It's a two-way street. That's how the conversation is established. I'm not here to debate you because you're not going to win. Let's just talk. Okay? Let's do that. Tread on thin ice, because whatever you're wrapped up in as far as your belief system, I don't want to have to undermine all of it in one night. All right? So we're going to tread lightly, my brother. All right? So the link is there again. You want me to answer? I answer whatever question you want to ask me. There's a link. Ask me whatever question you want to ask me, brother. I will answer it for you. It's right there. Even if you don't want, even if you're scared to show your face, because some people are scared to show their face. Even if you're scared to show your face, just come on with your audio. It's okay. And nobody gonna hurt you here, bro. Link is right there. Click the link. Let me show you the comment he left. Prove that the Christ that you worship is different from the Christ that vocab worships. We are listening. Link is right there. I'll answer all your questions. Apparently, King Tony, you have not been following this channel for that long, my brother. Obviously, me and vocab had a whole debate, bruh. Did you see it? Did you see the debate? Did you see the debate? Did you see the debate, King Tony? Oh, no, you didn't? Oh, shoot, man. You ain't see the debate, Tony. Maybe that's why you don't know, my brother. I don't know. Apparently, if that was the case, we'd be on the same page. I would be going to wherever he worships at, and we'd be worshiping together. Worshiping Jesus Christ, right? That's what you say? Worship Jesus Christ? That's what you say? Oh, man. All right. Let me see. Somebody click the link. Hopefully this is you, King Tony. I don't know if this is you or not. Hopefully it's you. All right. We're gonna see if this is you. I got my headphones on. That's crazy. Let me put my headphones on. Let's see. So I can hear. Do I have it on right? Yeah, I got it on right. All right. Let me see. So whoever this Dr. Johnson is, I don't know who this is. Hopefully that's you, King Tony. You got to get your audio and video together. Something's going on there. I don't have my speakers connected, but I'll just put my headphones on. Are you having internet issues? Is that you, Tony? Is that you, sir? Let me know. I'm waiting. I'm going to tell you this, man. People don't like when a brother is young, black, and confident. They don't like that. They don't like that. People have issues with that. Why? Why are you mad at young, black, confident brothers, man? If I was egotistical, I would only do things to feed myself. I feed everybody around me, bruh. I take care of my community. I put my life on the line. My face is out there in public. You heard? So how could this be based off of ego? Y'all be tripping. I'll be cool. After this discussion, I'm going to go to sleep like this. I'm going to have some good sleep, man. I'm going to drool and everything. I don't lose sleep over this. Somebody criticizing me that can't show me a better way to do things. Refuse to show me a better way to do. How does that work? Oh, there you go. Whoever that was dropped off. I don't know what's going on. Shout out to Will Ben here. Thank you for the donation, my brother. I appreciate that. Right? Man, it's 1:43 in the morning. You come on my show with all this critique about me, but you here with me. You here with me. Listen, my brother, if I didn't like you, I would not be up no 1:43 in the morning watching your show. That's not going to happen, bro. You here for a reason, man. Okay. All right. Let's keep it moving, man. All right. So let's keep it moving. I'm going to do the link one more time for King Tony. And again, family, look, a lot of y'all like these type of invites to the conversation, right? Some of y'all say, oh no, it's a distraction. It's all beneficial in the end. It is. It's beneficial in the end, right? You never know what will come out of these conversations because I'm always open for dialogue. It's important, right? So, So, all right. So I'm going to move forward. I don't know what King Tony, maybe that was him. I don't know. If that was you, King Tony, maybe you have some internet issues. Maybe you want to fix those internet issues. The link is still there. It's right there if you like. Shout out to Angie Love Yah. Shalom, sis. Shout out to Eliyahu Yemyahu. Shalom. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. All right. So let's keep moving. Okay. So with that being said, oh man, King Tony, what's going on? You got insecure there, Divine. Teach us how you're Chris. Chris is different from vocab's Christ. Well, I don't have a Chris. I have a friend named Chris. I have a couple of friends named Chris. And they're completely different from vocab's Christ. Like those brothers are definitely not vocab's Christ. They don't have nothing in common. And that's not my name, by the way, either. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. It's not me. But there's no insecurity over here. It's just not here. Why do brothers like to keep chatting after they be given an invitation to talk like an adult? I don't understand why that happens, bro. Why does that happen? But yeah, my friend Chris is definitely not vocab's Christ. It's definitely not. And you put vocabs in the plural there. I didn't know there was more than one vocab. All right. Bro, you can't come for me like that and don't think that I'm not going to cross-examine what you got on there. At least proofread your stuff before you send it. That's all I'm saying, right? Tony, you had a question, my brother? I'm sorry. Re-ask your question, Tony. I got you, King. They got you. Listen, I told you, bro, you got an opportunity to ask me any question you want. Just click the link. You got it. The floor is yours, man. Whatever you want me to answer, I'll answer it. A lot of people would love to have that opportunity to do that. And I'm giving it to you. I'm giving it to you, Tony. I'm giving it to you, my brother. Much love to you and respect. You got an opportunity. All right. Okay, so let's get back to this. We're going to wait on Tony. Hopefully, Tony clicks the link. We're going to get back to this, right? So let's get into the definition of dogma, all right? Let's take a look at dogma. Let me get it for y'all real quick. Right? Here it is. Dogma, a principle, a set of principles laid down by an authority as incontrovertibly true. Okay? Let's keep going, right? An official system of principles or tenets concerning faith, morals, behavior, etc., as of a church, a specific tenet or doctrine authoritatively laid down, a fixed, especially religious belief or set of beliefs that people are expected to accept without controversy. Okay? So you see this? That person that you know today, that Orthodox Christianity tells you that is Jesus Christ, right? This established him in the consciousness of Orthodox Christianity today. This right here. Now you ask me, how many of these things do I subscribe to? Huh? We're going to read something from there in 1 second. Read something. You want a Death to Dogma shirt? Click the link in the description below and get you a Death to Dogma shirt. I'm telling you, just wearing the t-shirts that we make automatically gets people mad. Ask somebody come up to me and say, the Sunday is the Sabbath. I don't even know this person from a hole in the wall. But they saw the shirt that I had on, and the shirt that I had on says, living the rest life. And it gives you the scripture, right? For the Sabbath. They just came out out of nowhere and just wanted to challenge me on the Sabbath. I'm like, yo, what? What's the problem? I didn't even say nothing to you. On Easter, when I wore that shirt, right? Cancel Resurrection Sunday, people just came up to me. They got mad. I didn't even say nothing to them. Why they get mad? I didn't say nothing to them. I didn't say nothing to you. What did I say to you? I didn't say nothing to you. I had the shirt on, Pastor No Tithing. Man, people got mad. I don't even say nothing to them. I don't even know these people. Hey, it is what it is. So Tony, you said your wife signed up and made a profile that she needs to make one under me also. Are you talking about as far as the app? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Let me know. All right. Not sure what you're talking about, brother, but let me know. So now that we understand what dogma is, this is how dogma is established through creeds and councils. Okay? So, and the reason why I'm recommending this, because this is a very easy to read book. It doesn't have a lot of scholarly jargon in it, right? It's for laymen. It's easy to pick up and read. And it's only about under 200 pages, 192 pages. So it's a quick read. It's a very thin book, right? But I'm going to read something for you, right? Because they have something called creeds, confessions, catechisms, and councils. So I'm going to read these things to you so you can understand what's going on, okay? All right. First, we're going to deal with an introduction. On page 11, we're going to deal with that concept of creeds, all right? This is how you know that my subscription and vocab subscription are different. Fundamental things I'm about to read for you, King Tony. I'm going to read this today anyway, but it's especially for you, King Tony. Sit back, relax, and learn. Creeds. I believe in God, the Father Almighty, maker of heaven and earth, of all that is seen and unseen. This is the opening lines of the Nicene Creed, AD 325. The English word creed comes from the Latin word credo, which means I believe. Church historian J.N.D. Kelly says that a creed is a fixed formula summarizing the essential articles of the Christian religion and enjoying the sanction of ecclesiastical authority. More simply, the creed set forth the basic beliefs of the church that have been handed down from the earliest times, what the New Testament calls the faith that was once and for all entrusted to God's holy people, Jude 3. When teachers throughout history called parts of this faith into question, usually the parts that were taken for granted or were less well-defined, the early church reaffirmed the essentials in a way that honored the traditional teaching. That's a creed. Let's move forward. We're going to learn today. All right. The next one is confessions. All right. Let's go into that. What about confessions? In contrast to creeds, which are basic statements of belief, confessions represent more detailed inquiry into the things of God. The great writer C.S. Lewis gave the following illustration to show the value of having confessions as well as creeds. I hope no reader will suppose that mere Christianity is here put forward as an alternative to the confessions of the existing communions, as if a man could adopt in it preference to congregationalism or Greek orthodoxy or anything else. It is more like a hall out of which doors open into several rooms. If I can bring anyone into that hall, creeds, I have done what I've attempted, but it's in the rooms, confessions, not the hall, that there are fires and chairs and meat. Okay? As Lewis's illustration suggests, the creeds are the boundaries of the faith that separate orthodoxy from heresy. You know, I would be considered a heretic. Maybe you're not aware of that. Type DivineProspect, heresy or heretic, and you'll see that what I subscribe to is not the same that Vocab. Matter of fact, Vocab made a heretic highlight reel about me. Why would he do that if we worship the same Christ? All right, let me keep going. All right, let's keep going. All right. The creeds are the boundaries of the faith that separate orthodoxy from heresy, while the confessions color in the picture, typing theology to everyday life in all sorts of ways. Because creeds are bare-bone structures, the outlines of the sketch, it makes sense that the earliest statements of the church are creeds, while later statements of particular denominations are confessions. Creeds distinguish orthodoxy from heresy or Christian faith from non-Christian faith. Confessions distinguish denominational distinctives or one type of Christian faith from another type of Christian faith, right? If you want to know about some prominent confessions, the 39 Articles of the Anglican Church in 1563, the Formula of Concord, the Lutheran 1577, the Arminian Confession of 1621, the Westminster Confession by the Presbyterian denomination, the Dordrecht Confession by the Anabaptists, the Augsburg Confession by the Lutheran in 1530, the Scots Confession, Church of Scotland in 1560, the Belgic Confession from the Reformed in 1561, the First and Second Helvetic Confessions of the Lutheran denomination in 1536 and 1562, the 25 Articles of Religion from the Methodist denomination in 1784, the Confessions of Trent, the Roman Catholic denomination from 1545 to 1563, and the Vatican II Catholic of 1962 to 1965. Dare I keep going? Would you like me to keep? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Catechisms. A catechism is a book or document giving a brief summary of the basic principles of Christianity in Q&A form. Catechisms represent the practical, on-the-ground application of the main teaching agreed upon at church councils and expressed through creeds and confessions. See, a lot of times, a lot of y'all subscribe to various creeds and confessions that has been established at councils and have been fed to you in the form of a catechism, a Q&A. So you don't even know how to get back to the root. All these breadcrumbs, you can't even find the mountain. But I'm here to show you how to get to the mountain. You don't need the breadcrumbs. I'm going to take you directly up that mountain so you can make the decision for yourself. Let's keep going. The word catechism comes from the Greek word katechein, which means to teach or to instruct. Catechisms are basic outlines of the teachings of the Christian faith set forth in a way that those unfamiliar with doctrine can easily understand. You may have heard me reference the Roman Catholic Catechism on this channel several times. Matter of fact, when we was going into that word fornication, I cited and quoted the Roman Catholic Catechism. Okay, let's keep going. Lastly, church councils. Okay. Look, King Tony is still typing in the chat, but he don't want to click that link. Let me put the link there again. Maybe he fumbled the link. Maybe he don't know where the link is at. Let's put the link back in there for Tony. Here you go. This is the link for Tony. Boom. That's for you, Tony. Let me keep reading, all right? Love you, my brother, but you got to man up, man. At some point in your life, you got to stand on your two your 2 feet, 10 toes down. You got to man up, bro. You got to talk to me. Talk to me, man. Man up. Let's have a conversation. If you don't, then we're not going to respect you, because this is what high schoolers do, man. They type like this, texting all the time. They're afraid of confrontations, face-to-face discussions. They typing all the time. Come on, bro. You a grown man. Click that link, man. All right, here we go. Here we go. I'm pushing buttons, bro. Click the link. Many of the creeds, confessions, and catechism of the church were decided upon at large church meetings called councils. Councils brought together leaders from all over the known world to hammer out issues such as responses to heretical teachings that were too difficult for individual pastors or bishops to handle alone. There are 7 ecumenical councils that every branch of the church recognizes today, whether Orthodox, Catholic, or Protestant, and there have been 14 additional Catholic councils. Okay, now this is important, right? So it goes on to say, so are the council's decisions authoritative? It is instructive to notice that in 1 Corinthians, when Paul is asked about whether Christians should eat food offered to idols, in 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verse 1 to 13, he appeals not to the decision of the Jerusalem council, but instead to the revelation that he had received from Jesus Christ. This shows that Paul saw the Jerusalem council as in some sense authoritative, but not ultimately so. His appeal was to God's revelation as the arbiter of truth, not to a human decision at a council. All right. So again, what did we learn today, class? What are creeds, confessions, catechisms, and councils? Okay. And what this book does is that it goes into a wealth of these things and breaks it down, right? Like the Athanasian Creed. Do you know what that is, King Tony? Are you familiar with that? What about the Council of Chalcedon? Are you familiar with that? And what was established there? How about the Heidelberg Catechism in 1563? You see, my brother, when you take time to read and study, you can draw the line of demarcation between what you stand on and what somebody else stands on. And you'll see that there is a plethora of differences. Okay? So now, let's go back and see all the things that King Tony is saying, but yet he still doesn't want to show up and have a conversation. I even told the brother, he can mask his face, right? I'm not afraid. I have no fear. That's why my face is on the screen, right? I don't have no fear. I only fear the Most High, right? But I realize that some grown men are afraid to show their face because they don't want nobody to know who's making these statements, because a brother is going to have to check you in person, right, for the things you say. And you don't want to get checked in person for the things you say. You don't want your face out there, because then people can roll up on you if there's a problem. I'm prepared for that, bro. Been doing this for 8 years, right? So I have no fear. I can't have fear and do what I do. What I'm doing is I'm asking you to have no fear. Stand like a man on the statements that you're saying. Show your face. Speak your speech. Let's have a dialogue and a discussion. I didn't say debate. So shout out to Anthony Cummings in the building. What's going on, brother? It's called Know the Creeds and Councils by Justin S. Holcomb. Excellent, quick 192-page reference to know about creeds, councils, catechisms, and confessions. All right? So, let me see. Now, look. Shout out to Scott. Scott said he calls himself a king, but he's acting like a pauper. Your name is King. And that brother says we're getting violent. Family, did I threaten anybody? Did I threaten somebody? Wait, hold on. He says I'm getting violent. What? Brother, how am I getting violent? I didn't threaten to do anything to you. What I said to you was, when you say the stuff that you say and people see your face, you have to be prepared that people may approach you in public because of the things you say. That's why people like you are comfortable not coming on the screen, because you don't want to be held accountable for the things that you say. That's what I'm saying. I didn't threaten no violence towards you. What are you talking about? Now you're lying. Now you have a lying tongue, my brother, because not once did I threaten you. What I'm saying is, everything that I'm saying, I am man enough to stand on it face to face if somebody confronts me on it. That's what I'm saying. Nobody said violence. When I have public events, people come up to me all the time and they disagree with me. And I welcome it, because I stand on what I say. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit to it. That's what I'm saying. But when you are anonymous and nobody knows your face, they don't know your voice, you can say everything you want to say. Guess what? And then they can't approach you. I'll give you an example, right? When I have an event, Christian apologists come to some of my events and ask me questions based on the things that I say. They know what I sound like. They know what I look like. So they know how to come to me and approach me. Nobody said violence, my brother. What are you talking about? Where are you getting violence from? Man, this is crazy. The things you will say to avoid getting on here and having an adult conversation. Wow. All right, look. On what grounds did you invent your own concept of Jesus, different from vocab's Jesus that you worship? How is this possible when you and vocab read the same Christian New Testament? Now, Tony, I got to give you credit. You cleaned up your grammar. Yo, he was like, hold on, let me proofread. Is this right? Did I have the comma here? Apostrophe, period. Okay, we good. Send. But he can easily just click the link and just talk. And he won't be critiqued on his grammar. This is crazy. This is crazy, man. It's funny though. I like it, man. And look, here's a demand. Answer the question. That's a demand. Answer the question. I'm not answering nothing until you get on the screen. Get on the screen. Come on, King Tony. D. Will, hopefully you picked up that book, and hopefully Anthony got that book as well. Okay? Great books. Also, Anthony, while you're there, if you're still watching, it's my favorite biblical Hebrew grammar right here. It's my favorite. Love it. Excellent. If you don't have it, make sure you get it. All right. I keep these books on deck because it's stuff I go through every day. Also, if you're still watching, Anthony, 2 other great resources: Exegetical Gems from Biblical Hebrew, a refreshing guide to grammar interpretation by H. Hardy II, and Exegetical Gems from Biblical Greek, a refreshing guide to grammar interpretation by Benjamin L. Merkel. Right? Excellent resources right here. Then we have the basic go-to guides in case we need to go back to the fundamentals for anything. Keep these on deck all the time. Right? Then I got my lexicons here. I got my other biblical Hebrew grammars. I got my exegetical commentaries. You know, it's all good, man. And I show the community what it is, the tools that I use. Nothing's a secret. There's no ambush scholarship over here. I show my hand. Right? So, Tony, you want me to answer the question? You know, you sound condescending and proud. Okay, that's your opinion. Everybody has an opinion. Right? But if you want me to answer this question that you keep typing in the chat, my God, my brother, man, just click the link, bruh. Oh, man. All right, let's keep going. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the Q&A in a few minutes. I just want to share another comment that somebody else who disagreed with me has left. And I invited them to have a dialogue and conversation, and they've declined. Yet, you know, when people make certain comments public, and I catch wind of it, I try to respond to it, right, by offering them an opportunity to have a discussion with me. I'm not going to do the typing back and forth with you, right? I used to do that. I don't do that no more, right? I'm getting much older. My patience is short by doing typing, going back and forth. I'd rather talk to you. So I offer an opportunity for them to talk. I don't disrespect nobody. I don't berate nobody, belittle nobody, right? I said, well, thank you for sharing your comment. I appreciate it. Now, would you like to set up a conversation on a live stream and have a talk? Why am I saying it that way? Because you made your comment public. You didn't reach out to me privately. You made it public. So I'm saying, let's address it publicly. And then you declined. I said, let's address it privately. And you declined. So I don't know how to help you. Your comment doesn't mean anything to me if you cannot talk to me. If you can't talk to me, it doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't hold no value, no water. Let's talk. Right? I don't know why people are ashamed to speak. But look, let's show the comment real quick. I'm going to show you the comment that I'm talking about so y'all can see. All right. So we can see what's going on here. You can understand the background, what I'm talking about. Right? And again, these are all teaching moments, right? It's all teaching moments. This is how we all learn as a community, right? We got to hold each other accountable for the things that we say, whether you agree or disagree with it. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show y'all some comments. And again, by the way, family, hit 1 if the audio and video is in sync. If it's fine, hit 1. If there is audio and video issues, please hit 2. All right. So now let me open up this comment. Let me see if I can find this comment. Where is this comment? Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I could find it. Thought it would be right under here. I don't know why I don't see it. Let's see. Let me see. And after this, I'm gonna open up the Q&A, family, okay? Just give me a second. Let me see if I could find it. I might have to go through another method to do so. All right, let me look for it this way. Let's go here. Very interesting comment. I will say that. Very interesting comment. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Unless the person deleted it, I can't find it. It's in my email, though. It don't go nowhere from my email. All right. Yeah, we got it in the email. Here we go. I'll show it to you directly from my email. All right. Oh, y'all gonna love this, man. And again, I gave the person an ample opportunity to have a dialogue with me, and it is what it is. But let's go ahead and we're gonna read this. I'm gonna read this to you so you can see. Okay. So I really want to have a dialogue with your brother. He seems like he's semi-fluid in how he disseminates his words. So let's take a look to see what the critique. And I'm open, and this is what I'm telling people. I'm not afraid to address whatever you put on the table, man. And this it's not gonna be hidden from me, right? So we're gonna go through this together. Okay. The name of this person, and again, these people always have these anonymous YouTube channels, right? Because they don't have no resume or history of videos, right? They have some random avatar or just a letter. In this case, you don't see what they look like. But this person gave me clues, and I think I know who it is because I think I know who this person is, right? But let me I'm going to read to you what they posted. And the person is watching this, right? I would love to have a dialogue with you. I offered it to you, and we're going to read. Let's just read. All right, let's just read. This is when being dogmatic and attempting to be articulate goes wrong. Okay, so let's read. All right, and again, it's no shot at the brother. Hopefully, it inspires him to want to come on the channel and have a dialogue with me, right? Because I would love to talk to him, right? Now, he goes by the name of Reverse, like reverse, but Reverse. Okay, that's dope. Actually, that would be a dope MC name, man. That would be a cool MC name if you're a rapper. I don't know if you rap. Well, then again, I'm going to reserve because I think I know who this is, right? But let me read, all right? He says, pause, brethren, and those co-signing here, as it pertains to the awakening. This is not it. Again, this is not it. Stop the cap. The delusion poured upon the masses is strong and should not be underestimated. This Passover literally passed over the who, what, when, and why this holy day is to be observed, and actually was a demonstration of intellectual fumbling and scholarly bias used to substantiate and maintain an unclear position that, with all the truths and facts available, were proved to have little strength. Now, mind you, they're saying all of this, but they don't want to have a dialogue. Okay, let's keep going. It is past time to lay to rest the generalities when discussing the past and present as it pertains to so-called black folk, e.g. ancestors, community, etc. Be specific. It is 2022. That, for starters, Negroes in the Americas are, by blood, the Israelites that the Holy Scriptures speak of can't be refuted. Okay, let's continue to read. The challenge and cognitive dissonance tethered to the aforementioned truth for Negroes is accepting and resetting their minds and doing as it is written in the Holy Scriptures, which contains their history, their culture, and their future fate. To be specific, the awakening of Israelites have nothing to do with the doctrines of Pan-Africanism, Egyptology, the so-called conscious community, nor any religions. The people Negroes in America, for starters, who are part of a nation, Israel, are waking up. The stumbling blocks and snares are in place. The masses, more importantly Negroes, have been conditioned to be goats, aka be rebellious, accept the lies, embrace individualism and hyperfeminism, just to name a few, all of which leads to chaos. Order out of chaos. People, order out of chaos. This assemblage on the day of this video was actually a chapter launch. Now watch. Remember I told y'all, there are pros and cons to it's our first Passover event, okay? You're going to have strengths and you're going to have weaknesses. You assess it, you evaluate it, and you make changes going forward. But apparently, this person who is saying this was physically there. You know, when they say those who have crept in unawares, this is an example of that, right? Somebody who crept in unawares was at the event, but didn't come to me or pull me aside to tell me how they really felt. Very unfortunate, but let's keep going, okay? Observance of Passover could have and should have been excluded. Now, here's the thing. If you were dissatisfied with what occurred at the event, then why didn't you have your own event? Nobody made you come here. And I'm sure that you've had this perspective before you came to the event. So why did you spend $20 to show up? What was you coming there to do? Oh, you was coming there so that way you can cause confusion. That's why you came there. But let's keep going. Where time restraints existed, observing Passover should have superseded. Okay, I'm not going to go into the way you spell things, but let's keep going. That the brethren recommended to an open-minded sister to punt the KJV 1611 due to a communicated difficulty with reading it, combined with tabling Passover to promote a chapter launch and speaking in generalities, is cause for pause. Now, let's slow down for a second, okay? Slow down for a second, okay? First of all, if you paid attention to the marketing for this event, it was a 2-in-1 event. It was a KHM chapter launch event because it was convenient for us to get the people locally to come out to an event that we can do a chapter launch. And it was a Passover Seder. You understand? It was 2-in-1. What happened was we had a different room, actually 2 rooms at the venue where we had to split up our parties because the other rooms, like the one that we eventually was given, was unavailable. I got a call early in the day that the 2 rooms that we booked to get everybody in there that can hold about 62 people, that the AC was broken. So they could not give us those rooms. They offered to give us a much bigger room, which I said, wow, that's great because this way we can keep everything together. We don't have to split anything up. So that was a change that happened an hour before the event began. So that means the catering had to change because they came and scouted previously. The videographers that came had to come and scout out because they were told something previously, right? And we just learned that an hour before the event. So we had to adapt, which means we had a much bigger room. And because of such, the caterers coming to see it for the first time, the video production team's coming to see it the first time, and me and everybody else on my staff are coming to see it for the first time. Do you understand? So therefore, it took additional time for us to get set up because this is an unexpected change or a variable that occurred that we had to adjust and adapt to. Okay? Now, if you came there and you were dissatisfied with that, you didn't have to stay. Nobody locked the door. You could simply leave, right? But instead of you inquiring privately to me about what's going on, right? Maybe if you was in the know of the conversation, you could have saw that our priority was the Passover. So it wasn't like we disguised it as a Passover and it really was a chapter launch event. There was food there, my brother. There was unleavened bread, there was bitter herbs, and there was lamb. Why would we do that if we were just, okay, all right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, all right? There appears a lack of awareness of a true understanding of what is unfolding and what Israelites are to do and the importance of an urgency. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Let me get into this comment that the brother made. This is how I know who it was. Because when I made this comment, there was only 6 people that heard it. So do the process of deduction, and I know each and every one of those 6 people that was there while I was talking to the sister at our vending table. I know who this is, right? So let me tell you the comment that the person is speaking about, because again, we don't run from nothing, right? We put it out on the line. So I'm going to get into it, right? And again, the person who this is, Reverse, right? And again, this is what happens when these anonymous dudes come out and they start making these comments, right? Anonymously, but you was there. So I know who you are, right? We know everybody that showed up. You know how we know everybody that showed up? Because when you RSVP'd, you had to pay $20. We got your information. We know everybody that showed up. So I know the 6 people that was at the table when I was talking to the sister. Now, let me tell you what transpired so you know what this person is saying, because we're not hiding from anything. So there was a sister that was brought there, right? Her mom followed KHM, and she brought her daughter there, who was a young sister in her early 20s, right? And she knew nothing about the Bible like that. Maybe a couple of things she hear here and there from going to church, or she said her grandfather or whatever, right? And she knew nothing about the awakening or Israelites. And if you watch the video that I posted on the channel, shout out to my brother James for shooting the footage for me, right? If you watch the video that I put on this channel when I was speaking, right, that was our informal chapter launch. If you go back and watch our previous chapter launches, you see our chapter launches were much different. Matter of fact, you can always go back and watch our Passover events, because, you know, we have several of them up on the channel as well, right? But anyway, so after I did that session, right, the sister then came to the vending table, because I was there and I was talking to the brothers and sisters that were there. Brother in point, who's making these comments, was at that table, right? The sister came up to me. She said, "Hey, Divine, blah, blah. My mom introduced me to you, A, B, and C." She was like, "Man, I got some questions about the Bible." She says, matter of fact, I don't even know if I had questions. I don't even know where to start, whatever. So I started talking and building with the sister, etc., right? Then it got to a point when she said, one of the things that hold me back from understanding the text is these and thou. She's like, "I don't speak like that," right? She said, "That is very confusing." And she says, "I don't understand it." And I said to her, "Yes, that is antiquated early modern English language," right? That was derived from what we call Queen's English, okay? And that was the colloquial speech of that time. And at the time that was authorized in 1611, right? And I've shared the history of the KJV, by the way, to Reverse, right? But anyway, and I sent the link, and people know about that. But let's keep going, right? Let's keep going, right? So when I was talking to her, and I said, "Look, if you're having difficulties with a translation, right, this is what you do." Metaphorically speaking, right? I'm not telling her to physically do it, but if she wants to do it, that's her business. I said, what you do is you take that translation that is making it difficult for you to understand the culture, and you take it and I went to my brother Jay, and I said, "Jay, you play football, right?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "What's this called in football?" He said, "That's a punt." I said, "Yes, you punt it," meaning you remove that translation out the way and you find another translation that can best communicate the essence of the text and the colloquial language that you understand. Okay? Because what is entrenched in the KJV is a lot of dogma, and it's easily proven. Matter of fact, for those of you who are watching, let me give you some more history on the KJV. If you check out the last Clubhouse session that I did, I go in on that. But I'm going to share that link with everybody in here. Okay? Just give me a second. That's why I said, let's just have a talk, man. You don't have to fire me up, right? So I'm very passionate. When I say fire, I'm not mad. Just get passionate over stuff. Because when I get passionate, I start to share a lot of truth on things that you wish was not that I didn't say. Sometimes people don't want me to say certain things. Is I just go in with the truth and I show people things and they learn stuff. So here's the link right there. Here's the link, right? Here's the link. All right. So for those of you in here that want to know the history behind the KJV, which by itself, I'm gonna let you read it for yourself. That link right there, that document is, I believe it's 676 pages. Okay. This is for people who subscribe to the KJV and see nothing wrong with the translation. They believe it's the pure, uncut word of God, as if God himself has put his spirit in the translators, and they communicated in an English that will continue to stand the test of time. And even from their preface and their translators' notes, that was not what they shared. They simply did the best that they could based on what they had available with them at that time and based on the approach they were taking to make the translation because of political and religious matters that was going on at that time. It is littered with Church of England and some Puritan too and some other things. When you learn who the translators are, I name all the translators, I give you their background. It all comes from this source too. I love this source because it puts everything compact in one place. Everything that I've read in books and articles, it puts it in one place. Read it thoroughly. The translators revised the 1611 because they admitted there was errors. There was typeist errors. There was intentional errors. There's an issue between church and congregation because the Puritans believe in the word congregation, but these translated believe it should be church. See, these are little things that if you don't research, you don't study, you get caught up in the dogma. I'm just trying to free your mind from the dogma so you can make an objective decision for yourself, and people do not like that approach. I told the sister to punt the KJV because for her, it was a difficult translation because she told me later on, she was told that this is the only version of the Bible that she should be reading. There was no encouragement to learn the Hebrew, the Aramaic, the Greek. There was no encouragement to learn about other translations. She didn't even know what a formal equivalency translation is from a dynamic equivalency translation. She had no clue what that was. Nothing, because she's not being discipled. Nobody's tutoring her. People are forcing religion down your throat. They're not teaching you what these things mean. And they're making you oblige yourself to something you don't understand. And this is why the youth are leaving en masse the church, because of the lack of discipleship. Listen, even my Christian friends, shout out to So Real in the building, will agree with what I'm saying. It's the truth. Read that article. And after you read it, if you're willing to delve in it, shout out to all my family members that subscribe to KG. Matter of fact, shout out to my brother Yoel from Sons of Thunder Camp, Hebrew Israelite Camp. Excuse me. Some of this Pope came out of my mouth. He came onto my my Clubhouse session that you can go and check out. And he subscribes to the KJV, but he was honest about it. See, I respect that. And that's my brother. Shout out to Joel. Met that brother in person for the first time after knowing of each other at that Hebrew wrestling event. I put the clip up on the channel. And he was very honest and straightforward in regards to the KJV version. And what I'm simply saying to people is that for you to assert yourself as an authority critiquing me, and you're standing on a translation that has never for once admitted that you're the people of the book. Translation don't admit that. Translation doesn't say black people are the true Israelites in America today. It doesn't say that. Where does it say that? It doesn't say that in there. Now you can go to scripture, and try to put it together and say, oh, see, this is talking about us. Okay, that's cool. But what I'm saying is the translators would have never said with the transatlantic slave trade. Uh-oh. There was a slave trade going on around that time, 1611. It wasn't coming to the colonies, the 13 colonies yet, but it was darn sure going off to the Portuguese and the Spanish that was bringing slaves over here. Never once did the translators ever say in their marginal notes, their translators' notes, their footnotes, their preface, these people, right, in West Central Africa are the people of the book. Even after various revisions, because you got the Oxford, the Cambridge, even after various revisions, none of them ever admitted that we were the people of the book. You know why? And I'm sorry to say this. I'm not going to get into whether King James is black or not. I'm not talking about that. But what I do know is that a lot of these translators, they're not us. That's all I'm saying. They are definitely not us. Right? Some people may not want to hear that. But if I ask somebody who subscribes to KJV right now, name all the translators for me, they're going to have difficulty. Then I ask you, what does so-and-so believe in? You know they all didn't believe in the same thing, right? Did you know that? Did you know they all didn't believe in the same thing? Oh, okay. But let's keep reading, because this is the holy scriptures to this person, right? They believe this is the pure, uncut word of God. Let's keep reading the critique that they have of me, right? And again, I'm saying it publicly because they put it publicly, and I gave them an opportunity to discuss this, and they declined. Let's keep going. There appears a lack of awareness of a true understanding of what is unfolding and what Israelites are to do and the importance and urgency thereof. The sister can be taught to read scripture. It's her book. If the mission of KHM in this chapter is not 100% founded upon the holy scriptures, the awakening of Israel and the necessary preparation thereof, failure as it pertains to the affirmation is assured. And although this brethren is not titled a pastor, applies. So if you don't like the things that we are doing, go do your own thing. I'm not obliging you to be part of KHM. You obviously have a different agenda than what we have because you are misconstruing our agenda, but it's okay. The world's definition of success and accumulation of Esau's money. Now we know who we're working with when we hear these terms, these buzzwords, right? So KJV 1611, Holy Scriptures, right? Awakening of Israel, right? Esau's money. We know what we're dealing with here. A whole profile is being created. This is how I know who it was. Because everybody who came, trust me, I do research. That's what I got to do for my 9 to 5. I do research. I do IT level research. So everybody that signed up, I've done research on you. You know why? I got to make sure we ain't got no child predators coming in. Got to make sure we ain't got no rapists coming in there. No thieves coming in there. Nobody has a history of causing riots and issues and problems because it's my kids is there. My family is there. You understand? So I know certain dispositions that certain people have, and I know everybody that was there at that table. So I know who this is. And I'm not going to put their name out there. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to give them an opportunity to have a discussion with me, a meaningful discussion with me, so we can work through this, right? Because I'm willing to do that, right? Finally, establish a side, not sides, and be specific. Apparently, I have not established a side. I don't know what that means, but let's keep going, okay? Israel doesn't need any affiliates. Well, that's interesting. When Israel built the temple, they had affiliates. Well, that's interesting. When David was running for Saul, he had affiliates. Man, we want to keep going? Do you want to keep going in regards to affiliates? But no. Let's keep reading, okay? Let's keep reading, okay? Punt Pan-Africanism. Punt vagueness of speech. Israel's awakening is no light matter. Believe it or not, Israelites have been and are at war spiritually and physically, which include the mind, which I don't disagree with. The Holy Scriptures, again, the Holy Scriptures to this person is the 611 KJV Bible. And I just sent you a whole fact book on that. And once you read that, your understanding of the KJV will change. That doesn't mean you're going to stop reading it, but your perspective and perception of it will change when you see the facts, not opinions, right? Again, believe it or not, contain the who, what, where, when, and why as it pertains to Israel. The Holy Scriptures are Israelites' source of power. Be not dismayed by the heathens' intentional misuse of the Scriptures. They were never for them. And they cite Deuteronomy 7-6 is Israel. Then they cite Baruch 4:5-7, Baruch 2:30-35, and then they say Shalom. So you see, they created an entire profile for me to identify who this is from the people who were physically there at the event and the 6 people that was at that table. You made it easy for me to figure out who you were. But it doesn't stop there, right? Again, let me go to the next 2 comments, and then I'm going to open up for Q&A, family, so we can talk. We can have a dialogue, right? This is important, right? I don't want nobody to think that I'm running from anything. I don't run from nothing. I don't understand, right? Let's read the next comment, right? Now, here, you're not going to see. Matter of fact, can I see? Let me see if it'll come up if I click on it. If the comment will come up. Let me see. Oh, yes, it's here. All right, cool. All right, let me zoom in. And let's read the rest so you can see how I responded, right? I responded. So let's see how I responded, right? Because again, I was very respectful, right? So let's see. All right, I think this is it right here. All right. I say, thank you for your comments. I appreciate your input, although I do disagree with some of your statements. I know you was at the event, Aki, and I would love to invite you on the platform for discussion concerning your grievances. Feel free to provide edification in amicable dialogue. Let me know if you accept this, right? And this is their response. Grievance? No. Disappointment? Yes. For you to disagree is to be expected. It's part of the conditioning exacted upon the masses via education, the media, religions, and various social constructs. A man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. The aforementioned is one of a few reasons a discussion on your platform would be premature. Okay. There exists and have been too many debates regarding the awakening of bloodline Israel already, which is the context within which my assessment exists. The context? Okay. The cognitive dissonance, especially as it pertains to Israelites, stemming from the delusion poured upon the masses, will only be removed when it's too late. In the meantime, the fishing will continue. Brethren, humble down. Not everyone is fit or needs to lead. Do not underestimate the validity of the Holy Scriptures, the times we are living in, and what's coming. Lastly, censorship will be the litmus test for the validity of your efforts or doctrine. All right, let's take a couple of stabs at this, right? First thing is the person said they have no grievance, but they have a disappointment. Well, typically, grievances come from disappointments, but that's fine, right? Me disagreeing with them is based on the conditioning exacted on my mind via my education, the media, religions, and various social constructs. So apparently, I'm being misled, I'm being beguiled, and I'm under some kind of hypnosis of delusion, right? Okay, no problem. Even though I give you an objective methodology and tools and sources and stuff for you to figure things out for yourself, I don't tell you what to believe. I just give you the stuff and see what. Okay, never mind all of that, right? He doesn't want to debate because it would be premature. Premature just means early, right? Premature. Then he says there's too many debates already. This is the excuse about the awakening of Balaam Israel. Not enough has been done. We have a lot more that we need to prove. But let's keep going, right? The cognitive dissonance, especially as it pertains to Israelites, stemming from the delusion poured upon the masses, will only be removed when it's too late. So again, family, I'm under a delusion now. This is what the person is saying, right? They telling me to humble down. Not everyone is fit or needs to lead, right? So apparently, I need to humble down because I'm not fit and I don't need to lead. That's very interesting coming from somebody who we don't even know who this person is. What is your pedigree? What does your resume look like? Where are your works that you're confessing your faith? But where's your works? Who are you? Tell the people plainly who you are so I can respect your advice. I don't even know you like that. So why would I take your advice? That's crazy. All right. Lastly, censorship would be the litmus test for the validity of your efforts. So apparently, if I start to get censored, then I'm not going to come out with the truth anymore. My videos have been censored. You want me to show you receipts? Come on the channel and I'll show you receipts. I'm even censored by my own community because they don't want me sharing stuff like that document on the KJV. So what are you talking about? That hasn't stopped me. Nobody put me in a position but Yah. I could care less if somebody censors me. I'm going to keep speaking the truth. Because what I do is 50% online and 50% offline. You understand? And the reason why I say 50% online, because that also involves virtual conversation, stuff like that. The other 50%, I'm actually in the community. Where are you at? Are you established in the community to have an example to show me? Paul, since you subscribe to that, 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 1 says, follow me as I follow Christ. So why would I follow you, take your advice, heed your words when I don't even know who you are like that? I know who you are as far as physically, but I don't know you like that. But let's see how I respond, right? Since I'm not humble, right? I said, thanks for the feedback. If you would like to have a phone conversation on the matter, you have my contact information. Let's have a mature discussion about this if you're serious about what you're saying. If not, Your comments will be in vain, my brother. Yah bless you and yours. Shalom. I'm very respectful. So why people are afraid to have a dialogue with me, I don't know. I'm not sure. But let's see what he says, okay? Brethren, I do not have your contact information, and with reason have I made statement. He sounds like he's writing chapter, reverse, chapter 1, verse 1 of the extended, annotated, and expanded KJV 2022. Sometimes people try to be so articulate and deep, and it's so rudimentary. It's like you can see how fundamentally rudimentary this is with the person using a facade of articulation. This sounds like this person is writing chapter 1, verse 1 of Reverse and the 2022 expanded and annotated KJV. That's what it sounds like. But let's keep going. Brethren, who addresses somebody like that in 2020? So let's keep going, right? I do not have your contact information, even though it's on the screen in every live stream. Never mind that. Even though it's in the description box of every video, never mind that, right? So apparently this person is not even watching my content. I even say it in some videos. So how do you not have it? But okay, let's keep going, right? And if I discern maturity on your end, I would have kept it pushing. So let's pause on that. So apparently they perceive me as being mature. You have stated to punt the KJV to an open-minded sister. You see that? That is what they hung up on. The dogma of the 1611 KJV. That's what they were offended by. And then they used that offense to make critique, exaggerated critique of the overall event. Now we see where it stems from, right? I went to school for criminal psychology, right? I know how to analyze the psychology of somebody who's perpetuating a crime. Not saying they are, but who's devising a scheme, but they need justification in order to authenticate their actions. So this was their justification. Me making a comment to punt the KJV. Why are you taking that offensively? I don't care. You can say punt the ESV. I don't care. What? Punt the NLT, punt the RSV, punt the NLT, the NIV, punt the BSB, punt the net, punt all of that. It doesn't matter. You can punt a translation. That has nothing to do with the underlying text, which is in Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay. Which was a poor decision. Reread what I've stated and be assured none of what was stated comes from a place wherein lies vanity, which I did not say. I didn't say it was. I said, the person needs to know what the definition of vain. Vain simply means empty. So if you're trying to convince me or persuade me with your words, if you're not willing to have a dialogue, it's empty. It's in vain. It's not going to amount to nothing. It's going to amount to me critiquing what you're saying publicly because you made public comments, because you didn't do your due diligence in your research to look at my live streams and see the number scrolling across the screen or look in the description box. You got to do your research before you make comments like this, because I'm going to show this brother where he went wrong. But let's keep going, right? So he says, equivocation, uncertainty, nor vague or hidden agenda. The awakening of Israel, again, that's a buzzword, is more important than is realized. Who constitutes Israel and what action steps Israel is to take is simple. Vanity exists with Israelites who are unwilling to accept who they are 100% and what to do as is written, but lean on their own interpretations, substantiated by various degrees of scholarship and intellect, rooted in a rebellious spirit, fostered by the delusion poured upon the masses. So again, they keep using that idiom, delusion poured upon the masses. Now they're poking at what's called scholarship and intellect, which means you have to be dumb, deaf, and blind to accept what I'm saying to you. Because all scholarship does is equip you with the tools to critique something to ensure that it's authentic. You know why? Because we're not living in the Iron Age period. We're not living in the 1st century AD. So because we are thousands of years displaced from these cultures, scholarship helps us to get back into the understanding of the worldview of these cultures so we can discern for ourselves what we should and should not be following. It's very simple, right? Yah has given us intellect for a reason. Noya, so that you can make conscientious decisions. Maybe that person doesn't know what that word intellect is actually in scripture, and it's about a positive thing, not a negative thing. So I'm unwilling, you're right, and rebellious against the fact that I'm going to be deaf, dumb, and blind to believe or follow just anything just because somebody says the awakening of Israel and you're the chosen people. And I'm just, oh my God, that makes me feel good. Yeah, I'm an Israelite. Yeah, let me go. No, I need more validation in that. It requires more. So therefore, it must be tested and tried by fire. So this is how I came to my position. But let's keep going. With basic research, again, they're telling you to deduce or minimize your level of study. And a basic understanding of scriptures, well, who's giving you the lens in which to interpret the text? See, when you use words like shalom, Esau's money, KJV 1611, the awakening of Israel, you're talking about the holy scriptures, using all these terms, right? You're going into the Apocrypha, cool. You're doing all of this, right? Who's giving you that lens of interpretation for the text? We have to establish that. And through conversation, I know the exact questions that ask you to establish that. Maybe that's why you don't have a dialogue. And it's okay, right? You have every right to decline it, right? You should know who you are and subsequently what to do. Questionable and vanity exists. I don't know what you mean questionable. Exists where there is a sound understanding of the aforementioned, yet one remains tethered to outside doctrines and or social constructs. Pause on that. Well, maybe you should say the word selah. That's a little bit better than pause on that, right? A little more cultural, right? If you are unwilling to accept the greatness that our Father has bestowed upon you, woe be unto you. However, lead not others astray. Now, you know how I'm not leading people astray? I'm going over your comment so people can decide for themselves. So some people may agree with you, and that's fine. But that's why I'm reading your comment publicly in case people missed it. I'm putting it front and center. And then you give me Proverbs 1 and 5. So this is what I say, right? Check it out, right? I said all contact info is in the description of every video. Then I post the number, I post the email. I said I look forward to hearing from you soon. Also, if this was your position, my friend, why don't you pull me to the side at the event and tell me instead of making this public? And then I put Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. And I use the KJV. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained the brother. You have not said this to me and me alone. You've made it public. So you violated a precept that Yahushua has prescribed for you to do in Matthew chapter 18, verse 15. You're out of line, you're out of bounds, and you're in violation. So don't go tell all this stuff to me if you can't have or follow the basic teachings and understandings from this is what you said. It's basic. This is very simple. You have not followed that. So who are you to critique me? And you're not even following the basic rudimentary principles of the text, which is if a brother has trespassed against you, apparently you was offended when I made a comment to punt the King James Version 1611. If you was offended, you pull me aside and you tell me the offense. Hey, Divine, you said something earlier that I didn't really sit well with me. Can I have your contact information so I can call you on the phone, my brother, and we can talk? I'll say, sure. Here's my number. Anybody can talk to me. The link is in the description. Click the link, set up, schedule an appointment, and we can talk. It's available to the public for free. It's there. So you did not follow the same biblical principles that you're telling me that I need to know in order for me to be in alignment with the awakening and accept the greatness that our Father has bestowed upon me. Right? So that is very simply a basic, what I call correction. Matthew chapter, let's go to scripture. Let's go to Matthew chapter 7, verse 1. All right. Matthew chapter 7, verse 1. Okay, let's get Bible. Right, let's get Bible. Right? Again, the basic, this is what the person said to me, the basics, right? Oh, wait, let me get the King James Version. I want to make sure I stick with the King James Version, right? I don't want to be out of bounds. I don't want to cause a stumbling block, right? So let's get the King James Version, okay? Matthew chapter 7. Judge not that ye be not judged. For with what judgment ye judge, ye shall be judged. And with what measure ye meet, it shall be measured to you again. And why beholdest thou the mote that is in thy brother's eye, but considerest not the beam that is in thy own eye? Or how wilt thou say to thy brother, let me pull out the mote out of thine eye, and behold, a beam is in thine own eye? Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then thou shalt see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye. So this is for you, Rev Urs. You came out to publicly critique what I said and what we as an organization, KHM, did at the event. Okay. Plus, you spent $20 to RSVP and come to the event. No problem. Right. And again, if you was dissatisfied, you could ask for a refund. I would give you your $20 back. It's not a problem. Matter of fact, it's open. Just ask me. If you want your $20 back, I will refund it to you. No problem, my brother. Right. I don't want you to feel like we robbed you of something. I'll be more than willing to give it back to you. Right. But here's the problem. You said all of that, but yet you missed Matthew chapter 7. The reason why I can now critique you, because the text gives me the allowance to do so. It's permissible. Judge not, lest you be judged. So since you judge me, now I'm judging you, right? For with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged. Because you made this public, I'm responding to you publicly. I gave you the opportunity to do it behind closed doors, and you ignored it, right? But the beam that was in your eye was, before you critiqued me, right, you need to make sure that you had your I's dotted and your T's crossed. One of the fundamental things is that if you have an issue with your brother, Matthew chapter 18, verse 15, which I just read, you bring it to him in private, to him and him alone. First, before you go to 2 or 3 witnesses, and before you go to the congregation, and before you put that brother out of your sight or out of the congregation. You didn't even follow the basic rules of how we're supposed to operate in this awakening of truth. But yet you want to critique a comment that I made that only drew the sister closer to the truth and not further away. Interesting. But it's okay. I love you, my brother. I'm not saying this because I have any hate or animosity for you. Hopefully one day we can speak on the phone or meet up face to face and talk. I would appreciate that. But unfortunately, my brother, you have declined, just like everybody else who gives me heavy critique. Most people, not all of them, most of them decline to have a one-on-one conversation because they are aware that in a one-on-one conversation, cross-examination occurs and they don't want to be critiqued. Hence why they have a random anonymous name with no YouTube video history coming on here making comments. Right. So let me give a couple of shout out to my brother Dennis McMillan in the building. Shalom. Mommy Rika, what's going on, sis? Shalom. Hope everything's good with you. Moriel Roshach, shalom. What's going on? How you doing? My brother Jordan's cadet is in the building. What's going on, King? The Father's will, shalom. Bergen Parish, shalom. What's going on? Thank you for hanging out with me at 2:51 a.m. I'm going to give somebody join, click the link. I'm gonna let him speak for a few minutes, and then I'm gonna open it up for some Q&A. We can go from there. I want to say shout out to Gabar Alaha in the building. Shalom, my brother. What's going on? And let me see. Anybody else? Sandra Curry, Mother Curry in the building. Shalom. What's going on? Mr. Altruistic. Shalom. What's going on, my brother? Let me see. Feed the Spirit. Shalom. I see you. Let me see. Ebony Knowledge. Fritz Foxwell. Shalom. Let me continue to give honor where honors due to each and every one of y'all that is in here. Thank you for supporting the channel and watching the live stream this early in the morning. Shout out to Jacob the Saint in the building. I see you. My brother, So Real. Shalom. And that's a Christian apologist in the building, right? Let me see. Anybody else? I think I got everybody. Now watch this, right? Now, after I address this, I'm going to bring on my guest, So Real, right? King Tony, okay? Let's deal with what you just said, right? Maybe you didn't catch everything. This is why you need to wait till a matter is fully expressed before you comment on it. He says, wow, watch how he was belittling his brethren publicly from a private email. This is wrong. This man is proud beyond belief, not a drop of humility. So family, can somebody tell King Tony that what I was reading, maybe he doesn't have, he has YouTube, so I don't know. But maybe he doesn't realize that this was a public comment on a video. But wait. In case he thinks that I'm not telling the truth, let me show y'all the screen again so y'all can see that this was a public comment, okay, that I just showed the video for. So King Tony, you need to repent. You need to ask your brother for forgiveness because you are just looking for an excuse to berate me, to criticize me, to put me down and reprimand me. But it's only falling. You have egg on your face now. You fell on your own sword. This was public. I've never put a private email out ever in public. What are you talking about? I've made that very clear on several sessions. Where have you been at? You've been absent. You've been gone a while. You're on a journey. What's going on, my brother? I don't know. Shout out to Chazak, Yasharal in the building. Demetrius Easley, Shalom. Demetrius, no problem, my brother. Thank you for your support. Definitely, if you need a refund, let me know. I got you. Just hit me up on the inbox, and I'm going to take care of that, my brother. No problem. All right? All right. So, my brother, you are absolutely wrong, King Tony. You need to repent. You need to ask for forgiveness. But guess what? I forgive you, my brother, because you know not what you do. Shout out to Jacob the Saint for the donation. Thank you, King. I appreciate that. You know not what you do. Father, forgive him, for he know not what he does. All right? He's just looking for an excuse to berate a fellow brother in the truth, simply because I expressed to him that his comment needed to be challenged because he made it public and it is incorrect, and he refused to have a one-on-one discussion so it can be addressed. Okay? All right, so with that being said, I'm done. Let me put on my brother. Thank you, my brother Demetrius. I appreciate that, King. Thank you so much for that. Let me bring on my brother So Real. Hold on, So Real. I don't have my speakers hooked up. I just put up my new computer not too long ago. I didn't hook it up to my speakers and put my headphones on so I can hear you. You can unmute your mic, So Real.
Hey, peace, man. Happy 2022, bro.
Same to you, King. What's going on?
I feel your pain. You should not have to be going through this. You know what I mean? KJV only are pretty interesting, and you know, and also the fellow. You know, I've dealt with people like that before. You know, and I'm just gonna let you know right now, like they're a waste of your time. They really are. You know, if they really can't come on and have a honest talk, then you know what good is what you know and what you're trying to push and teach or whatever. You know, if you can't really have an honest talk with anyone. So I just want to say, like, I feel your pain. You know, other than that, I still do want to have a dialogue with you, but at the same time, I know you're about to go on the Q&A, and I know that when I jumped on, it's very untimely. You know, I just woke up. But yeah, wow. I did at least want to put a bug in your ear and let you know. I know I let you know this on Clubhouse, and you know, even in in your inbox, that I wanted to have a dialogue with you. You know, whenever we could set up some time about Isaiah chapter 60. And it's mainly because it's a part of my app that I'm making. And also, I wanted to talk to you also about the virgin.
Wait. Shout out the app.
Oh, sure.
What app is that?
Yeah, the app is called Christian Hebrew Q&A. It's actually out right now. However, it does have some bugs and some other stuff that needs to be cleaned up. So that's why I haven't really gone public with it. But yeah, it's on Google Play. It's only for Android users so far. Hopefully I can change that. But yeah, it just has about basically 11 and 13 years of, you know, my research. And basically it's just a Q&A app, you know, a question here from professing Hebrews or Christians, and from there there's an answer.
Yeah,
but
gotcha.
Yeah, other than that, I just wanted to say that I wanted to put those two little topics out there about Isaiah 60 and the virgin birth. You know, mainly because I know for the past few months I've been working crazy overnights. You know, at my factory job, and so I'm not.
That's why you be on Clubhouse late.
Oh goodness. I mean, hey, I'm making some good money though. I admit.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's why I'm rarely able to even come in on these Friday nights. You know, I meant to come in earlier, but you know, I was so glad I didn't have to go in overnight. I slept and I forgot, and I woke up at 2, like, oh snap! I wanted to go on, but I wanted to go ahead and just say those two things,
Sure.
and perhaps, you know, we could definitely set something up.
Yeah, let's do a Clubhouse session.
Cool.
Just let me know. I don't know your availability. Like me, I work 8 to 8 every day. So I
Yeah.
work 2 jobs. So and then I have a family and I oversee a ministry and so forth.
Yeah, and
But I'm
congratulations, man,
no, thank you.
to your new addition. Yeah.
I appreciate that. And I would love to have a conversation with you because you are reasonable, and you're not argumentative, and you're sincere, right? So I'm more than happy to have that with you. Now, maybe some other Christian apologists I may decline, but you are a handful of the ones that I will have an open dialogue with because I know it would edify the community. So let me know what your availability is. You see, going across the screen, I have a number you can text. So text me on that number, 678-430-3832. Say, hey, this is so real. Want to be able to schedule or arrange a time where we can have a conversation about Isaiah 60 and the virgin birth. We'll find out what times we both are available, and then we'll do a Clubhouse session. And then from there, if you want to do it on your channel, my channel, we can definitely have a follow-up or a part 2 discussion that way as well. Okay.
Yeah. And you know what? I actually decided to leave Clubhouse. I just noticed it was being a little unfruitful for me. And so I'd rather just go ahead and have it on your channel, really.
Okay, cool.
Um,
What
but
about your
yeah.
channel, Sarah? You got a channel too.
Oh yeah, I do. But you know, I
He's
don't
like,
mind
oh
that at
yeah, I
all.
do. He's funny.
Gosh, hey, I admit, I have to admit, like, ever since I've been married, I've been semi-retired as of late. And the only reason I'm on here is because you know, my wife is away for Mother's Day for the weekend, and you know, I'm gonna be with my mom too.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we could definitely do it on my channel. Only reason I say yours is because usually no one wants to come on my channel because they're like, oh, it's too small and all that other petty
No,
stuff.
I don't care about that. I want you to continue to build your platform, and conversations like this will open up people's mind to see the rest of the content you have in your channel. So I'm all about other brothers, progressing, right? And if I can help contribute to that, I'm here to do that, right? So I have no problem doing. Like I said, I respect you as a person, as a man of integrity. We do have some disagreements, but there's some things we also do agree on. And these 2 topics we do disagree on, but I think we can have an amicable discussion that would be edifying to both our communities. So I'm more than willing to do that. So text me directly and let me know it's you. And we'll continue to have text dialogue and correspondence until we set up a date and time, and then we can have it on your platform. Okay, at least to start off with your platform. If we want to move elsewhere, we can. But I want to help build you up as well, my brother. Okay.
I appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm out, and I'll see you guys.
All right. Appreciate that. Enjoy the rest of your morning now. All right. All right. Cool. All right. That's so real. So real. So real. So real. Me and him had a very interesting debate a couple of years ago. It's on this channel, so you can go back and check it out. Like I said, I really respect the brother. He's talking about being genuine. He is a very genuine brother, right? He means well, right? And again, we've been in some Clubhouse rooms where he was in there and he heard me teach or share some stuff and he agreed, and I did the same thing with him. So, even though we do have some disagreements, when we talk about it, we both can go into it without it getting personal and getting ugly or whatever. But the benefit of it is so that the community can see both sides and make an objective decision. And that's the most important thing, right? All right. Shout out to Boss in the building. Much love to you as well, my brother. I appreciate it. All right. All right. So let's go into the Q&A, right? So I know it's late. I was trying to end at 2 hours. If y'all want a 15-minute Q&A, hit 1. If you want Divine to go to sleep now, hit 2. I'm going to leave my fate in your hands. You let me know what you want to do. I'm okay with another 15, 20 minutes of Q&A, but I also want to get some rest and spend some time with my family. So I'm betwixt here at this fork in the road, right? So you hit 1 if you want to stay on, hit 2 if you want me to get some rest. All right. Okay. I see the 1s and the 2s. Okay. All right. Interesting. Okay. Okay. Now, what I've noticed is that most of the women say 2. There's some women that have 1. Most of the men say 1, and a few of the men say 2. It's very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. So since I see a majority of 1, I'm going to say shout out to Curtis Jr. Park in the building. Shalom. Let me see. Who else did I miss now that I have these 1s and 2s in here? Let me shout you out. Scrolls, UNG. Scrolls Sung. I think I'm saying that right. Tro. What's going on? Boss. What's going on? Let me see. Anybody else? Sheppo. Shout out to my brother Sheppo. What's going on? Long time no see, my brother. Hopefully all is well on your end. Miguel Brown. Shalom. Let's see. Okay, that's everybody, I think. Okay, cool. All right, so I'll stay on. All right, family. 15-20 minutes is yours. Let's keep this under 2.5 hours. So the max I'm going to stay on here is 20 minutes. All right, and then I'm going to go, right? So if you have any questions, let's end this off with some Q&A. So go ahead and shoot. Go ahead, family. Shoot your questions out. I may not be able to answer everybody's question. I'm going to pick the questions that I know I can answer immediately. The other ones, if it's a little bit more involved, will take a little bit more time. So let's do it. All right. So I see Tro says something about reincarnation. I actually addressed that in a previous live stream. I think it was 2 live streams ago. You can go check that out. Ben Yehuda said, Shalom, brother DP. I'm trying to understand the demographics of Jerusalem at the time of Yeshua. Were the rabbis and Sanhedrin also called black people? If so, when were these customs co-opted? All right. First and foremost, that term black people did not exist in the 1st century CE. So I can't say that they were black people because nobody was calling a demographic of people black. Now, you may see terms that's used like when they talk about the Ethiopians and the skin of the Ethiopians because they know that they were dark people, right? But they wasn't called black. They were called Ethiopians. Well, that's an English translation. Actually, they called it Cushites, right? And even Kushi, right? Of Kush, right? Those individuals, those people were people of dark color. So I think if your question is the demographics, well, they had a various amount of ethnic groups in Jerusalem in the 1st century. And you said Yeshua, so it's 1st century AD. There was various people groups there. If you're referring to the Jews that were there, if that's a question you're asking about the Jews that were there, they were people of color, yes. But would they be called black people, like we know that term, that nomenclature today as black people? No, that term wasn't used to call them that. That is a modern term that's used to describe a particular people group here in America, okay, and now abroad, right, in diaspora, the Ma'afa, right? So hopefully that answers your question. But yes, they're people of color. Matter of fact, you asked about the rabbis and Sanhedrin. Well, there was 2 Sanhedrin councils, a lower court and higher court. The lower court was typically from the Jews that existed at that time. The higher court did have some, but they also had other people groups on those councils. There's a great book on that I have on my Patreon. Name escapes me for me. It's been years since I read it. But it's on the Patreon. If you do a search for Sanhedrin, you'll find it. Okay. And you want to talk about the co-opting of customs. Well, that happened over a long period of time. Matter of fact, I think a lot of that started through the acculturation period that happened when the Israelites or the Yahudim came back from Babylon, and they were shoulder to shoulder with the Iranians that we call them today, Iran. They wouldn't be called Iranians, but like Mede Persians, etc., that existed who subscribed to Zoroastrianism, right? And then you started having co-opting of customs that happened at the time. Matter of fact, that's when it was more prevalent. Prior to that, there was always co-opting of customs. How do we know that? Through loan words that we find in the text that's tied to material culture. We see a lot of that, especially of Egyptian culture, in the first 5 books of Moshe, right? Or what they call the Torah, the Pentateuch. And then we see it elsewhere. Matter of fact, the word for full moon you see translated in Psalm 81:3, that comes from an Assyrian word. It's a Syrian loan word. And it has to do with the agu or the kuseu, right? And it has to do with the crowning ceremony and the procession of the king when he is bestowed with the crown or the tiara of the moon god Sin. And so the attribute of that procession, which is the crown of lapis lazuli, that is highly reflective. It's a composite material that's highly reflective, right? Gives the essence of being covered with light because it reflects the light. And these processions was done during the daytime so that all can see. right? So that's a loan word that comes from another cultural practice or custom, right? So Israelites co-opted it, right? That happened very frequently in the ancient Near East. Matter of fact, I have a book on Semitic loan words, right, on the Patreon. Subscribe and check it out. All right, you can take a look at it for yourself, my brother. All right, hopefully that helps. All right. Yes. So I don't know if that was a question, Gabar. I think you was responding to a brother. That is true. There are certain commandments in the KJG not thoroughly understood because of poor translation. I agree. Let me give you one good example of that. I'll give you a good verse on that. Let me find it. This one tends to escape me sometimes, but I'm gonna find it. Let me find it for you. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it at? Let me see. Man, I can't find this verse. It's crazy. Where is it at? Oh man. So I'm just gonna say it because it's crazy that I can't find it. But there's a particular verse, and again, I've given out these documents that list all the statute laws and commandments, right? Maybe y'all can help me find this verse. It escapes me right now, but it's the verse that talks about not uttering the names of other gods from your lips. Let me see if somebody can help me find that verse. Let me see if somebody can help me find that verse. I might post it in the chat if you can grab it before me. Exodus 23 and 13. I think I found it. There we go. Exodus 23 and 13. All right. And then I'm gonna get back to your questions. All right. So that was a good point that you made to the other brother, but I saw it as a question, so I'm gonna address it because that's easy to address. Exodus 23 and 13. That's what I'm looking for. Let me pull it up. Exodus 23 and 13. All right. Now we're going to read this in the KJV. All right. All right. Exodus 23, verse 13. And in all things that I've said unto you, be circumspect and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of your mouth. Now, when you read that, right, this is the KJV. When you read that, how do you interpret that? And I'm going to say this to the audience, and I'm going to get back to see what other questions y'all have on there. But when you read that, how do you interpret that? All right. Anytime, Ben Yehuda, no problem, King. When you read that, how do you interpret that? Huh? Tell me how you interpret that when you read it. Because apparently everybody in here has broken that commandment. Everybody in here has mentioned Baal, Asherah, Belial. You know why? Because when you're reading the text, it's there. Wait. When you read the text, these names are there. They're there, right? You have Molech in there, right? All the names of these other gods. Dagon is in there. So, are the authors of the text misleading you? Because they're saying that you are to make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. Are y'all all breaking the commandments? Is that what's going on there? And I'm going to show you why, again, why you have to understand some of the culture and some of the language, right? So let me tell you how you are to interpret that. So before I get into the Hebrew of it, let me show you an example of this happening of a secular person, right? Watch this. Let me show you. Let me show you. All right, let me go to Joshua chapter 2. We're going to come back to this. All right, let's go to Joshua chapter 2. Now watch this. Let me read this for context, and I'm gonna get into up to verse 13. And Joshua the son of Nun sent out of Shittim 2 men to spy secretly, saying, "Go view the land, even Jericho," right? Jericho. And they went and came into a harlot's house named Rahab and lodged there. And it was told the king of Jericho, saying, "Behold, there came men and hither tonight of the children of Israel to search out the country." And the king of Jericho sent unto Rahab, saying, "Bring forth the men that are come to thee, which are entered into thine house, for they be come to search out all the country." And the woman took the 2 men and hid them and said thus, "There came men unto me, but I wist not whence they were. And it came to pass about the time of shutting of the gate, when it was dark, that the men went out. Whither the men went, I wot not. Pursue after them quickly, for ye shall overtake them." But she had brought them up to the roof of the house and hid them with the stalks of flax, which she had laid in order upon the roof. And the men pursued after them the way to Jordan under the fords. And as soon as they which pursued after them were gone out, they shut the gate. Now let's get focused, right? Verse 8 on. Watch this. And before they were laid down, she came up unto them upon the roof. And she said unto the men, "I know that" what? "The Lord," Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, "had given you the land, and that your terror is falling upon us, and that all the inhabitants of the land faint because of you. For we have heard how the Lord," Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh, "dried up the water of the Red Sea for you when you came out of Egypt, and what ye did unto the 2 kings of the Amorites that were on the other side of Jordan, Sihon and Og, whom ye utterly destroyed. And as soon as we heard these things, our hearts did melt, neither did there remain any more courage in any man because of you. For the Lord your God, he is God in heaven above and in earth beneath. Now therefore I pray you, swear unto me by the Lord, since I have shown you kindness, that you will also show kindness unto my father's house, and give me a true token." Now, interestingly, she's playing a harlot in her father's house, and she also lied, but yet she was exonerated of this. Very fascinating, but that's not what we're going to focus on. What we focus on is what is happening here, right? What is happening here in verse 9 to verse 12? No, actually, excuse me, verse 9 to verse 11, right? Let me highlight it. What is happening here? How is this relative to Exodus chapter 23 and 13? How is it relative? Let me see if somebody can make the connection in the chat. Anybody? If y'all still awake out there, anybody? Somebody said Lord. Rick S says Lord. Right? Now remember, what I'm showing you is an example of that commandment that if you just read it in the KJV, it's not going to make any sense, because you see the name of other gods replete throughout the text. So interesting enough, the writer of Exodus is not going to mislead you, right? That's not the intention from the authors, to mislead you. So there's something else going on there, right? So Feed the Spirit said, "A woman of another nation is calling on the name of the God of Israel." You get in there, you warm. So to learn Yah and Yeshua, the question is, I was trying to showcase how you can't simply just read the certain commandments in the KJV and think you have an understanding of it, right? Because you don't know the underlying language and the culture and the customs and the history and sister cultures and how the ancient Near East operated, right? So Jacob the saint says we shouldn't fear other name of other gods. Okay, so feed the spirit, you're warm. Jacob the saint, you're also warm, right? Mommy Rika says the Lord aspect. You're pulling everything together, right? Adonya Haor says, she says, I know the Lord. Yes, based on what? What is that called? What is she calling to mind? What is she? There you go. Book, chapter, and verse. You got it. You got it. That's it. That word shin in Hebrew, it's not only a title, it means character or reputation. Do not even mention the reputation of other gods. Why? Because if Israel hears that and they're enticed by it, they'll go a-whoring after them. So don't let the reputation of these gods come out of your mouth. That doesn't mean you can't mention them, you can't talk about them, you can't reference them, but don't speak about their reputation. Because if you do so, you're going to mislead Israel to go after other gods. That's it. Very practical. So what she's doing here, which would have been disallowed by her own countrymen and women. She's over here touting about the greatness of some other god that she has no covenant with. And therefore, her household will now come into covenant with this other god and not the ones that she known from birth. That's it. So we are not to do the same. I'm not going to big up any other deity other than the one that I've contracted with. Why would I do that? That's like me being in a relationship with a woman and I keep talking about another woman. Not just her name, but her reputation, her character. Man, this woman is great. She's wonderful. She does this, she does that. And I already have a wife. Or somebody has a husband. That's you can say the person's name, but then when you go into more detail about their reputation and character, whoa, hold on. Whoa. This is why all the exploits, all of the acts of redemption, everything that Yah has done for Israel is to establish his reputation with them. This is why he constantly gets them to call to mind. This is why that reference to Mizraim is always there, replete through the text, because he's calling forth his reputation so that we don't mention any other deities and violate Shemot 20 by putting another deity face to face with him. That's what it says. Okay. All right. All right. So that's just a small example, and there's several of them, where if you read it for face value without understanding the underlining text, the culture, custom, and history, and matter of fact, you have examples in the text itself. You have examples in the text itself. Before, you had a theocratic nation called Israel. Those customs and mannerisms that is within the statute, laws, and commandments was already part of the culture. It just was never codified for a theocratic society. How do we know? Because if you see a lot of things that are mentioned, especially in the book of Vayikra, you see it played out in the book of Genesis. And if you want to see these things in a practical sense from the statute, laws, and commandments, read the book of Proverbs. Okay. All right. All right, so let me see what else was mentioned here. So real is funny. All right, let me see. JD Israel, man, that's going to require a lot for me to unpack that. So I'm gonna hold that off to another time. So Tro, you want some literature scholarship on Israelites in Liberia or the Bassa tribe going to Brazil in the transatlantic slave trade. So I'm going to find those resources and I'll put them on the Patreon. If you want me to share it with you as well, which I don't mind, shoot me an email request and I'll find some time to look for those sources and I'll share it with you, right? So I have tons of sources about Israelites in Liberia. I have a whole dissertation on the Bassa tribe, and I have tons of data in regards to what people groups was brought to Brazil during the transatlantic slave trade. The only thing is, in order to put two and two together, to like parse out all that data, look for consistencies in the data so I know it's authentic, and then make affinities between the data to come up with a conclusion is what I've done in order to get to that position. So once I give you the sources, then I got to give you maybe a brief 10 minutes on how I mesh all those sources together in order to best convey, right, the position of Israelites from the Bassa tribe in Brazil as a result of the transatlantic slave trade. I'm gonna give you a good example of that in the realm of I guess the academia, right? So this talk about the Exodus, it was never really a multidisciplinary summit that has been commenced with various experts in various fields of the ancient Near East to come together and weigh in on the Exodus. Typically, we have pockets of different groups speaking on it, but never a summit or conference with them all coming together and actually discussing the subject matter. And when that was done, now people was weaving together various things from ethnologists, from archaeologists, from linguists, from those who deal with culture, and the little bits and pieces that they had spoken based on their isolate areas of expertise coming together and meshing all that together helped to better flesh out the narrative of the Exodus in the scriptures that was never done before. It's called interdisciplinary studies. Okay, that's important. So I've had to use that approach in order to come to that conclusion, and it wasn't easy because a lot of sources are scarce on that, right? But I've done it, so it's there, right? So hopefully that's important. All right. All right. Let me see what else I can answer real quick. Let me see. Jermaine, send that content back to me again. Okay. Send it back to me again. All right. Let me see. Is that a question for me, Learn Yah? Alexandrian Jews. You said Alexandrian Jews, those might come from Joseph's lineage. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't ever recall saying that. I'm not sure where that came from. Let me see. So Jacob says, well, speaking of the greatness of a nation that serves other gods, be an example of that. If that nation attributes their greatness to a deity, yes, that would be. Because this is what you see in here, right? A clear example of what Rahab is saying here. Okay. How do you respond to someone saying Numbers 31 and 18 supports pedophilia? What? Okay, let's bring that up. Man, people say the wildest things, man. This is very interesting. All right. Let me I'm gonna change this translation now since we go to ESV real quick. All right. But all the young girls who have not known a man by lying with him keep alive for yourselves. How is that pedophilia? Who's saying that's pedophilia? I need to know. Somebody said that means pedophilia. This word kaf here, hataf, definite article, the hataf. It's a masculine singular noun. The article the is preceding it, definite article. Then you have the word ban, right? This dagesh in the middle gives it a hard bus, a plosive B with a patach, a nun, right? So you double the N. This is a hard B sound with a doubled N, or what we called a emphatic N, right? B-A-N, ban. Then N-A-S, banashim, banashim, right? The word nashim means women plural. Then you have the prepositional bait, which is attached to it. And there's 3 types of prepositions, but this one is attached. So it's called the inseparable preposition, right? So this word here, having the patak underneath could be, this could be with, at, or with the women, right? With the women, or together in English syntax, the young women. So this word here, nashim, is the word women, right? The word there is women. We know the root word is isha, right? And it means woman. Why would this be? You see this word here, childbearing? How is this pedophilia? This is definitely not pedophilia. I don't know who's saying that. A woman who's 21 years old is young. So if a man takes her for himself, is that pedophilia? So in every society, right? And a lot of times we look at the past based on our present. In a lot of societies, statutory rape is clearly defined, where there's an acceptable period of age in which a woman can be married, in which a man can marry, right? A woman can marry, a man can marry, right? Where they transition from childhood to adulthood. In our society, it could be, the age of consent. It varies from state to state, right? But a safe age of consent is 18. That's the safest age of consent. But I would say it's 21, right? That's just me, right? I'm a little different, right? But in other societies, the age may have been a little younger, right? Like maybe 14, 15, 16, right? That a woman would be more mature at that age than the women in our society today, right? But here, this is not giving us any sense of adolescence, right? This is just saying young women. 18-year-olds are young women. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, they're young women. It's just based on the perception of the culture, right? Who wears this title, right? This is why you got to study sister cultures, because sister cultures put an age on that, right? This is not pedophilia. Who said that this was pedophilia? I would love to know if somebody said this to you. It's crazy. That's crazy. They're just reaching. Shout out to Valerie Mobile in the building. All praise to the Most High. I see you as well, sis. All right, let me see. So Shepo, I don't know what those scriptures are offhand. Are you talking about this is Mount Transfiguration? Is that what that is? What we're looking at there? Matter of fact, let me look at one. Mark 9:4. Let me see. Because of Markian priority, let's go to Mark, right? Let's go to Mark 9:4. And again, I'm about to wrap this up, family. Mark 9:4. Let's see. Okay. Let's go here so we can read it together. Yes, you talking about, I know you talking about Mount Transfiguration. Okay. All right. Yes, that is ancestral veneration. Typically, when you have an encounter with an ancestor who has appeared, you typically create a booth, which is almost like a shrine to honor them, right? It's the same way where we keep pictures of our loved ones who are alive and those who have passed today. So they automatically follow something that was instinctively cultural to them, which is whenever you see or have an encounter with an ancestor, you create a booth in remembrance of them in the place in which you've had that encounter. The same way when they have an encounter with the Most High, they put a stone there, right? So yes, that is ancestor veneration, not ancestor worship. They did practice ancestor veneration. And it was a Hebraic custom that has existed for a long period of time. Matter of fact, I got a whole book on this on my Patreon. All right? So Jacob the Saint says, what is your preferred translation of the Bible? So you will see that I use the ESV very often. It is called a formal equivalency translation, which means the translators, their translational theory, and taking it from the original text to the transmitted text or the translation is to try and marry it word for word as much as possible. The ESV is a response or an answer to the RSV, which was published by the Roman Catholic Church, right? It's a response to that, so it makes corrections in certain areas. So I like the ESV. I like how it reads. It's not the best translation, but it is a sufficient translation, right? In my opinion, it's better than the KJV. That's why I use the ESV. However, the best Bible to get is an interlinear ESV, because it gives you the Hebrew. Matter of fact, let me show it to you. I got one right here. All right. Not far from my resources. All right. So here we go. Wait, let me blow up the screen so y'all can see it better. Right. And actually, I have a whole video where I share this. Right. So here we go. Right. This is the Hebrew English Interlinear ESV Old Testament, and this is the Greek English Interlinear NSV New Testament. You can get both of these books from Amazon, right? Let me show you what I mean by what I'm talking about interlinear, right? These are the Bibles that I actually use, right? So interlinear, so what it has here on this side is the English translation, In the middle is the Hebrew, and underneath that is the literal Hebrew translation in English. Literal, which means it doesn't follow English syntax, right? So you have, so what it does do is train you how to read the Hebrew from an English perspective until you learn the Hebrew language. And in here, you can follow trends and patterns, and it will help you pick up the language and be able to understand Hebrew a little more practically, right? So this is what I recommend if you're going to get a Bible. And again, in the ESV for the New Testament, Greek, it's the same way, same format. Okay. So I actually did a video on this channel where I answered that question. But yeah, these are the two Bibles and translations that I would recommend that you get. And the other one I recommend, right, is this one right here in this specific translation, right? This is the NIV Cultural Background Study Bible, bringing to life the ancient world of Scripture. Okay. So they also have this in the NKJV. For those of you who like how that reads. So those are my recommendations in regards to that. All right. Moriel Rorschach, no problem. All right, no problem. Yeah, Bible haters, they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, no, they got to show me academic paper that's peer reviewed where they've identified that as referring to pedophilia. That's insane. So Nicholas Gonzalez, Dirk Lange is an author who has done a lot of research and primary research in regards to connecting the Yoruba to the ancient Israelites. Some scholars agree with his work. Some scholars critique it heavily and disagree. But he's the one that actually has laid the foundational groundwork in regards to connecting the Yoruba or Yoruba to the ancient Israelites. And by the way, Yoruba or Yoruba is not a term of endearment. That was something that those people groups were called. They come from the Oyo Empire or the Oyo tribes, right? But that's another conversation altogether, all right? Correct, Shepo. You're right, Shepo. Correct. So there is no lake of fire in the Tanakh. There is the fire of judgment that will happen to the enemies of the Most High and of Israel. So they talk about judgment fire, right? Consuming those who are alive. But this concept of a lake of fire is not in Tanakh. It's not there. So what do they believe happens to the wicked when they die? They go to a realm where they are forgotten. They go to a realm where there's no hope for the afterlife. Daniel chapter 12, verse 1 explains what happens in the resurrection of the dead who are both righteous and unrighteous in those last days, that those who are righteous will enter into everlasting life, and those who are wicked will go into everlasting contempt. Right? So there's actually several books on the Patreon where I talk about the afterlife HaKodesh. Just text me or email me, and I'll hook you up with it. All right. So Hebrew polymath, yes, I did a whole lecture back in 2017, in February 2017, on the Gishi or the Gula peoples and connection to the Israelites. And you can just search for that on YouTube and you'll be able to find that video, right? Anytime, Sheppel, all right? All right, so let me see. So Tone 76, when was the oral Torah first written down? So nobody knows for sure, but what is posited was during the time of the royal house of David or Beit David, right? When the house of David was established, during his royal court actually began the process of laying down the oral Torah. So it's about the 10th century is the earliest that scholars give, and like those who have a much lower chronology will say it's about the 8th century CE. But it started during the royal house of the Davidic kings of Judah, who began to write it down, but it wasn't in its final form at that time, right? It didn't reach its final form until the redaction that occurred when the Israelites returned back to the land of Israel. And the Yahudim under Ezra and Nehemiah were responsible for further redactions, right? So hopefully that begins to answer your question. And actually, there's a book that's actually written on that. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find it. had to go grab a book real quick, but this book right here is called Contextualizing Israel's Sacred Writings, Ancient Literacy, Orality, and Literary Production, edited by Brian B. Schmidt, right? And in here, they go into the history of Israel's earliest literature, right? Find out what time did the oral become written, their level of literacy, at what time periods, etc., right? Royal letters and Torah scrolls, right? So if you want to learn about that, this is an excellent book that actually goes deep into that, okay? All right. Let me see. Let me see. Thank you so much for the drop, Mami Rika. Hebrew polymath, yes. That was an old video that I did. I actually have made some redactions to my stance on there since then, but I'm gonna show you. I shared the video with you. Hold on one second. What's the name of that video? Let me see if I can find that video. Man, you got to go back to February 2017 on my channel, and you'll find the video there. Oh, I found it. Never mind. I found it. Give me a second. Okay, here it is. I'll throw it in there for you. There it is right there, okay? Tone, I never said that to you. I never said that to you. I never told you that the oral Torah became written first in 200 CE to 500 CE. I've never said that to you before. Why would I say that when we have the Dead Sea Scrolls text that predate 200 CE? I never said that to you. Maybe you misconstruing something else I said, but I definitely didn't say that to you, right? Jacob the Saint, that's an excellent question. You got to ask the Most High. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe that is the contribution to why I have a lack of sleep, because after my entire day, I still try to spend some time to read a book, to research, to pray, to meditate, to get understanding on things, just so I can be here to share it with y'all. So my sacrifice is your gain. So all praise to the Most High. All right. All right. Okay. Yes, Jacob the Saint, I have, but the reason why I have not publicly said anything is I'm waiting for the peer-reviewed literature to be laid out. And this is another thing. They build it up, hype and a buzz, but until I read that article, I'm not going to speak on it. I'm not going to be for or against it. If it's true, it's awesome, right? But we got to see their written article on it. We got to see the actual academic article laid out on it so it can be critiqued and see how it withstands scrutiny, right? So that's why I haven't said nothing about it, and that's why we are where we at, right? Oh, so you know what, Moriel? That's probably what he's talking about. So the Talmud, right? The Mishnah was completed in 200 CE, and the Talmud was completed in about 500 CE in Babylon, right? But the Mishnah itself, the Jerusalem and the Bavli Talmud, is the Mishnah shared between the two, but they're what we call their Gemara, right? They're, the part that expounds on that, right? That was completed in about 500 CE, and they was collated together as one book. If that's what you're talking about. So if you're talking about that, if that's what you're talking about the oral tradition. If that's what you're talking about, then yes, thank you, Moriel. Maybe that's what you're talking about. But the actual written Torah that we have in this text, right? This written Torah, I just told you when it was laid down, first laid down, or the beginning stages of it being laid down, according to the consensus of scholarship, was anywhere from 10 to about 8 to 700 BCE. And then redactions was made, and then we have a semifinal form in about anywhere from 527 to 400 something. And then, you know, the accountant of Maccabees said a lot of those books was burnt. So when they removed themselves out of the oppression of the Greeks, then they started to rewrite their text, not rewrite it, but put it back out there, right? And create a repository of the text again. But the oral traditions continue to be maintained to fact check what was written down in the text, right? So hopefully that answers your question. No problem. Maybe that's what we were talking about right there, all right? I think that's what you're talking about, Tone. Is that what you're talking about when you say that? Let me know. I want to make sure I get it right, what I'm saying. Okay. So I'm going to go. Learn y'all said, what's the distinction? And this is the last question. And I got to go, family. So question, Doc, what's the distinction of Alexandrian Jews and Hellenistic Jews? Alexandrian Jews were just Jews that lived in Alexandria, Egypt. Most of them relocated there or was brought there during the reign of the Grecian Empire, right? That was fostered by the Ptolemies and the Seleucids that came from Alexander the Great, right? So that was a period of time we had a mass migration and or relocation for slavery to Alexandria. A Hellenistic Jew is a Jew that then adopts the concept of Hellenism, which is being able to entrench yourself in Greek culture, language, history, philosophy, etc. So all Alexandrian Jews are not Hellenistic Jews, and all Hellenist Jews are not Alexandrian Jews, because you can have Hellenist Jews anywhere in the world at the time. But Alexandrian Jews are Jews that were brought to Alexandria and that became their place of residency or their domicile, or they were born in Alexandria. That's all. All of them in Alexandria were not Hellenistic Jews, but a good portion of them was, because Hellenism was very prevalent in that region of the world at that time, right? They even had the Library Alexandria was there as well, right? So hopefully that answers your question, right? Okay. So Nicholas Gonzalez, he has books and he has articles. So email me and I'll shoot them over to you, King. All right. All right. So with that being said, I'm going to go. Please save your questions for my next light work session that I want to do next week during the week. And then my next Freestyle Friday session. Also stay tuned for more social media content. Plus, make sure you check in the community tab. And if you see some silence on this channel, not a lot of content, that's okay. I'm either busy doing something important and preparing to release something brand new to y'all on this channel, or you can sign up for our Patreon, which is www.patreon.com/DivineProspect. I'm continuously adding content to there every week. All right. So thank you to everybody who has donated in the chat. I appreciate y'all. Those who are part of KHM, I salute you. All my patrons on Patreon, I appreciate y'all for continuing to fund the endeavors and the ambitious projects that we have put forth, that we've turned into actual deliverables that is benefiting the community. All praise to the Most High for that. Thank you for your prayers, your words of edification, advice, etc. If you want to have a one-on-one with me, click on the link in the description below. Anybody who I've not been able to get to maybe in the past 2 weeks, I apologize for that. I've been adapting and adjusting. I've been working 2 jobs, 2 work contracts for the past couple of weeks. So a lot of my schedule has been off. After next week, in the middle of May, my schedule should be back more certain, and I'll know what periods I'm available, and I'll retool my schedule. Okay, so I apologize for those who may have missed appointments with. It's not intentional, right? But I'm working on that so that way I can get it structured again, right? And also, if you need any help, assistance, or whatever, email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com, and we will do what we can to help you in the best way that we know how. Otherwise, we will point you somewhere else. And I want to continuously thank y'all who are my day ones, my ride or dies, quote unquote, right? Who stay up to 3:45 a.m. to listen to me ramble. All praise to the Most High. I hope I be dropping jewels that will keep people enlightened. And if you're watching this on the replay and you made it this far, I love you. Yah loves you. Continue to stay steadfast in the truth. Continue to push forward regardless of the consequences, right? For holding fast to the truth, and Yah will rescue and deliver you. Sometimes the setback is a setup for something greater, right? Everything is a matter of perspective, because even when you lose, you can win with Yah. All right. So love your family. Get some rest, peace, and shalom. See you guys again. Shalom, shalom.